Welcome back to Maniacal Music Musings. I'm your host, as always, Jeremy, here trying to, you know, provide you a little enlightenment on music taste. And I may not come from Detroit Rock City, but I still shout out loud. I got a love gun, and the ladies like to call me the God of Thunder. I also been called Dr. Feelgood. I mean, I got a lot of names, what can I say? But, it's always the same old situation around the world. Girls will be girls. And it may be helter skelter out there, but fuck it. I got a wild side and I don't give a fuck. Just don't go away mad. Just go away. My co host, however, oof, some have called him the Antichrist. I don't quite agree with that, but some have called him that. He will die by the sword before he shows no mercy. He is a man of honor. He is a captor of sin in this dark, dark world. And what can I say? He's got the looks that kill, and he'll shout the devil all night long. Chancy, motherfucking gripe!
Hi.
You got him. We got him. See,
You
if they
know.
if they if they if they laugh at the intro, it's a whole fucking amazing special thing. But that's right, folks. We are back once again. Your musers are back to try and entertain you with three amazing albums. Well, okay, we'll say three albums. We'll see. But we don't know if everybody thinks they're amazing just yet, but we'll see. And we are joined, of course, by our amazing guest and Chancy. Your woman's being loud, but we are joined, of course, by our guests, Juan Gonzalez, musician, producer, and of course, a sex symbol.
Thank you for
Welcome,
having me.
sir. Welcome to the Muser Dome. We are
Why,
happy to have you.
thank you for having me. And it's a pleasure to be on your show.
We appreciate that fully. Uh, so the first question we'd like to ask everybody in the show who's in your field: what got you into the music industry?
Well, I grew up in a theater family. So
Nice.
at the age of 3, I was like in a performance of the King and I, as this littlest prince that crawls through the legs of the king, and the King of Siam. I don't know if you've ever seen this musical, but I grew up in a
I've
musical
seen
family.
I've seen the Family Guy version.
Okay. Well, in the Yul Brynner version, anyway, I grew up in a musical theater family, and the only way you can rebel in an environment like that is to basically get into rock and roll. So at the age of 16, I had my own job and I had my own money, and so I saved up money and I bought myself a cheap guitar and learned how to play and was playing in bands in high school and all that stuff, like the usual. And then when I got a little older, uh, I graduated high school in 1989, and at the age of 17, I was one of those people that I was a year earlier than all the other kids graduating. And so by the time I was 19 years old and ready to like be playing in clubs and all that stuff, all the music that I was into, you know, Ingve, Slayer, stuff like that, Motley Crue, all the music that I was into in the late 80s was dead. Grunge had killed it. And so it literally took the vacuum out of my whole vibe of what I wanted to do as a musician, as a rock and roller, right? So, and I had long hair and all the whole 9 yards, and started getting into Saigon Kick and all the new kind of
You
rock
had
and
hair?
roll. Oh, dude, I had super like long curly hair. It looked really ridiculous. Yeah. I looked like a member of Cinderella. It was stupid, but it's okay. You know what I mean? Not that it was, it wasn't stupid at the time, but it became stupid by 1991, and I just felt completely disenfranchised. So I had learned how to play all these instruments. I learned how to play drums. I learned how to play guitar. I sang. I guess that's arguable, but I mean, I sang. And because of the price of studio time, I learned how to use like a little 4-track recorder and all these things. And so by the early 90s, I was working in clubs at that point, just trying to get on a tour of some kind to kind of have fun. I was 21 years old or 20 years old at 92, I was 20 years old and I wanted to get out and rock and roll. So I got offered a couple of regional tours as a drum tech or guitar tech or whatever. And one of them was a band called Sabotage, right? So I was taking over for the drum tech for Sabotage for about 4 shows.
Oh, dude,
Yeah. What?
you unlocked some memories in my brain. I forgot about Sabotage completely.
No, you didn't. They became the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. So you haven't forgotten who Sabotage is.
I forgot about the original. I forgot about the original albums. Fuck yeah, I did.
I'm just letting you know. I mean, Trans-Siberian Orchestra is Sabotage. They even play
Oh,
Sabotage songs at their show.
Yeah, they do.
I never seen Trans-Siberian Orchestra live, so I can't say. But
Fair enough. That's real.
I mean,
But
I went to one of their shows, but I wasn't exactly conscious.
fair enough.
I,
Fair enough.
I forgot. I honestly forgot about Sabotage. I used to love that band back in the day.
Yeah, they're not still. It's still great music even to this day. Forget about it.
Oh, I'm sure it
So
is.
I did like 4 shows with them as a drum tech and kind of got my feet wet in the business. And then in '93, I was offered the job as a drum tech for Morbid Angels. So I became Morbid Angels drum tech in '93 for the Covenant record. And so,
Nice.
and then from there, they're managed by a guy named Gunter for World Entertainment, and he was managing. He had a stable of bands, and one of the bands that he had just acquired in '95 was a band called Grip Incorporated, and that was because Dave Lombardo had just left Slayer, and he was embarking on his own thing. And he wanted to do it on his terms. He wanted to travel with his family. He had his wife and his 2 children with him. And I was his drum technician in Europe for Grip Incorporated. And we were supporting Motorhead. And so I was like, it was one of those things. Like I just kind of like kept going, in these different directions. And I did just the one tour with Dave, but he's really a super nice guy, and we keep in touch now and again and say how you doing, whatever. And he went in and out of Slayer again. And but he still rocks. He's still an amazing guy, and he was an amazing dad on that tour. It was really impressive to watch this guy. He was the most awesome. It was fantastic to sit behind him and just watch him do his thing. And then he gets off stage, and like he had one child that was still in a stroller, and another one that was, I think, was 3. Little Davy was 3, I think, at the time. And he was just such a super cool dad. It was really fun to watch. And he traveled separately from the bus. We had a bus, with the crew and the band in it. And then he had his own like kind of private van and he would follow us from show to show that way, because the kids are loud and stuff. And he didn't want to have us deal with that kind of stuff. But that's neither here nor he was a super cool dude. We did just the one tour. I worked for him for one tour, and because then Morbid Angel was starting a new album cycle at that time in '96, and I just bounced around to all these different bands. I was with Morbid for 23 years. I did everything for that band, and including producing 2 records, and I director and editor for one of their documentaries called Tales of the Sick, which is a documentary on Blessed of the Sick. And then in that time, I also worked for another death metal band called Nile. And Nile is, super awesome death metal stuff. And I worked for them for like 12 years. I did 2 music videos for them. I did a music video for King's X. I've just done a bunch of stuff. I did pop, I did Broadway touring. I did everything that I could just to stay in the business. And of course, ran my own studio and did my own records, as well as producing records for bands like Diabolic and a bunch of pop stuff and a bunch of demo stuff that no one will ever hear. Corporate clients, you name it. You know what I mean? Like whatever it takes. Because there's a really interesting quote from CeCe DeVille, the brilliant CeCe DeVille, when he said that if there's any money to be made in this industry, I want to make it. So,
Right.
And that's it. And how do you make a career in music? Well, you make a career in music. That's how you do it, And if you're lucky, you get to play a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
We've lost the doctor. What happened to the good doctor?
the doctor is back to make you feel good once again. Sorry, I had to take care of some family shit. But
Boys will be boys.
exactly. But and folks, that's right. We got a guest this time who actually has had his foot in the music industry for a long fucking time.
Matter of
And
fact,
we are.
next week I fly down to South America with Symphony X. Do you know this band Symphony X?
Oh, I do. I love
Yeah,
Symphony X.
I did sound for them for about 10 years prior to me I retired from touring about 9 years ago. And I have only gone on the road again with Symphony X. I did one South American tour with them a couple years ago, and now I'm doing another one this year, and as their sound engineer and tour manager. And so
That's cool,
Nice.
man.
I've been very lucky in my life, in my career, that I've worked with nothing but really, really badass musicians. And Symphony X is one of those bands that, like, I'm just like, they're like, hey man, we need you to mix. I'm like, yes, yeah, what can I do? You know, because it's just so much fun to drive that car. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like it's like you have this awesome car with a really great engine and awesome suspension and everything, and it's that band. And so to be able to helm in there, and then like there's thousands of people around you, and you're the reason they. I mean, obviously it's garbage in, garbage out. So they give me fantastic music, and then all I have to do is make it louder, and everybody's happy. It's great.
Right.
I mean, I I am a huge fan of Symphony X, so fuck yes. But
L'chaim.
le- so you were touring through Europe. Let me
Uh,
ask: did you ever work with Night? Did you ever work at the same like set as Nightwish?
I've done shows with Nightwish when we're on same festivals and that kind
So
of thing.
ha, have you ever got to meet Marco or
I've met all the
Tara
guys
or?
in the band at one point, but they were the G1 versions before they changed singers.
Oh, okay. So the original version with Tara.
Yeah, that was the last time I did any work with. Like, keep in mind, I've been out of the world for like 9 years now.
Well,
So
yeah. I mean, in
I
those
have
in those 9 years, they changed singers twice. So
yeah, I was there with for G1. So I want to think 2011 or something like that was the last thing that I ever did
oh,
with
well,
them.
I mean, okay. 2011 would have been not Tara, not Floor, but the one in between. I can't think. Oh, Annette Olson.
Yeah, it was on a 70,000 tons of metal, which is like this cruise ship that leaves out of Miami. I was the stage manager for one of the stages on the cruise, and we had awesome talent that year. Well, they have awesome talent every year on that cruise. It's a really neat cruise. Um,
I
but
never heard of that cruise. That sounds amazing.
yeah, it goes out of Miami every year in January, and it's flipping cool, man. It's like it's a bunch of Euros on that fly over from Europe to come to Florida for a weekend, that kind of thing.
Oh,
But it's
I mean, I would too. It's fucking European metal is so much better than American metal, in my opinion.
Well, no, there's American metal bands too. So like that particular year, I mean, Cannibal was on the boat, Cannibal Corpse,
Nice.
Overkill was
I
Yeah.
on
love.
the boat, Nightwish. I mean, it was a gaggle of bands with a band lineup of like like a 30-year like career span. So there was some really classic uh metal bands there as well. Like Venom was there that year and stuff. You know what I mean?
Nice.
So I mean, these tickets aren't
Nice.
cheap, yeah, and they sell out really
Yeah.
quick when they go on sale. Um, and it's usually, I think it's after the summer they start announcing the bands that are on this thing, and it usually it goes to one protocol. So it's like, but there's 3 or 4 stages. I think now it's a bigger boat. So there's 4 stages running, and so there's always something to see. And then they have like all night karaoke, metal karaoke, and there's dudes like singing Judas Priest and the karaoke. It's ridiculous. It is so much fun. It's absolutely the top of the pyramid's capstone of the fan base of heavy metal. These are
Oh,
people, like, in other words, these are people that have enough money to take a flight to America or wherever, just to Miami, get to Miami, and then spend a couple of grand for a ticket to get on this boat, and then whatever the drinks are on the boat as well. I mean, it's a cruise ship, so your food is included and all that nonsense. But
I mean, I'm sure. I mean, it's a cruise ship. I'm sure they have an alcohol pass. I'm sure, but it's probably ridiculously priced as always.
but
And
it's but at the same time, dude, this is the only cruise where you get on and you're sitting in the
exactly.
cocktail lounge, and next door to you is like the lead singer of one of your favorite bands, and he's just in there
I
partying, and
mean,
you're like, dude, I want to buy you a shot. And he's like, sure. It's like it's a different
oh,
animal.
Oh, I'm sure I'd 100% be down for that shit. I mean,
To put it
you
into
know,
perspective, the last one I did with Symphony X, which is I don't know, I think it was 2014 or something like that, or 13. We did it was I did We Are the World. I got up there and sang We Are the World, and I had lead singers from like everybody was behind me doing the chorus of We Are the World. I mean, you're not going to see that anywhere but on this cruise ship. You know, yeah, like
That's
Russell
fucking
Allen,
insane.
and it was
I mean,
stupid, dude.
what's a better freaking song to do than with a bunch of male singers than "We Are the World"? I mean, that's
Yeah,
going to
no,
be fucking amazing with
they
male
were my
singers.
backup singers. You know what I mean? Because I was doing all the impressions from the original. You know, I was doing all these vocal impressions, and they were just singing the "We Are the World." All this, it was like vibrato fest. It was ridiculous, bro.
That's
It was like
that's
we
fucking
are.
incredible.
You remember the "We Are Stars" thing that Dio put together with Hearing Aid? Do you remember this?
Yep,
No,
I do. I do. I
I
do.
don't.
No.
I
Okay.
don't
All right.
remember
Well.
the.
All right, Chancy, you have to check this out, bro. Go to YouTube after this thing and look up
Yeah,
Hear N Aid or
yeah,
D, and then put Dio after it, right? And it
yeah.
was like
I remember
it
that.
was
I remember that shit.
yes, the song was called "We Are Stars," and it's dude, it's the heavy metal version of "We Are the World," and like Dokken and the singer from Rough Cut and uh what I can't think of. He's escaping. Dio's in it, of course.
Yeah.
The guys in Spinal Tap are in the chorus. They're in part of the We Are the
Oh.
World chorus. Dude, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
I know.
And dude,
I
the
know.
guitar solo lasts like 5 minutes because every guitar player in all these bands. So there's the longest guitar solo like ever. It's like
Oh
it's
my god.
ridiculous. Yeah.
That's probably why I've never heard of this before. It's like somebody probably was like, "You need to stay far, far
No,
away from here."
no,
I,
it is the Kiss meets the Phantom of the Park of heavy metal, bro. You have
I
to
mean,
see this.
I'm not gonna lie. I know of it because of Dokken. Because I was a huge Dokken fan for a hot minute back in the early 2010s. So
You mean
I know
Dorn
them because
Dorkin?
Dokken, whatever. But I know of it because of them. That's the only reason I know of it. But I mean, it's damn to get a person like this on our show, Chancy. We are blessed. But
Yeah.
and I and just to get some comments out there. Thank you, Harley, for sharing. What's
Oh
up,
wow.
Shannon? Always glad to have you on.
Hi,
And
Shannon.
yes, Harley. Oh my God, back to Family Guy. Yes, you're 100% right. Back to Family Guy, always. And The King and I is good. I don't disagree. Family Guy did a good version of it. So I mean, yes, they had Transformers in it, but they did a good job. And Shannon wants to say I was abused by music by my brother. He's a musician. He learned every instrument. Well, fuck. Get him on the show, Shannon. Hook us up. If you learn every instrument, I want to get him on the show. I mean, shit. I mean, you're welcome on the show too, Shannon. Of course. But come on, get him on the show. Fuck.
She would add some
But
production value.
exactly. And I gotta ask one. Well, I don't gotta ask because I know. But what album did you want to bring on this show, and why'd you
All
want to
right.
bring this album? 'Cause that's the part I'm really curious about. Is why'd you want to bring this album? If you're a metal god, why'd you want to bring this album?
Okay, I'll tell
As
you
much.
why. I'll tell you why. Because I grew up on. I'm bringing to the first off. I'm bringing to the table Kiss Alive 2. All right. Now, Kiss Alive 2 is a double record that it was all live record except for two songs on the back end, right? Which were studio songs that they like Rocket Ride was one of the songs, and I forgot the second one, even though I just listened to the record today, but whatever. I grew up on Kiss. To me, Kiss was the coolest flipping thing in the world when I was a child. My oldest, who's 8 years old, is getting into Kiss. And so
Nice.
I've been listening to a lot of Kiss in my car when driving him back and forth to day camp. And I just took him and my mother to go see a Kiss tribute band this last Friday, and it was
Oh
awesome. It
yeah.
was so much fun. Yeah, well, they're not going to see Kiss anymore, right?
Well,
Kiss.
I mean, you can go to the Dome in Vegas there, and they made that VR thing to kind of keep it going forever and ever.
Yeah, but that's, I mean, whatever. I think ultimately, no, I mean, cool. I mean, whatever. I mean, that's cool. You know, and like,
I mean,
if it was just a guitar thing for Beta Quest, I'd probably get into it. You know, but
yeah,
it's not the same as seeing like a live show. You know, so
for sure. Yeah, no.
this tribute act was good. I would give them like an 85 out of 100. They kind of, you know, hey, there's some background going on.
Yeah, there is.
Anyway, they were good. They just got into a little bit of B and C side land, and
Yeah.
when you're there to see it, when you're a tribute act, don't
Right.
you don't have integrity. You don't have that right. So you
Yeah,
play the hit.
you can't go to the deep cuts as a tribute
No,
band.
you're not
Like not
you're an
unless you're
instrument.
the tribute band, you know. I mean,
Yeah, like
even then.
yeah, but okay, but let me tell you, I a couple of years ago I saw Foreigner. You know, the what is considered
Right.
foreign. There wasn't a guy on that stage that recorded any Foreigner songs. You know, I happened to watch the show that I saw. Still had the one bass player guy that wrote that played on "I Want to Know What Love Is," right?
Yeah.
And he played one song with the band, and that was it. Otherwise, it was Jeff Pilson from Dokken who was playing bass in Foreigner. And but it didn't matter. They dude, every song that they played that night was hit, 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 hit. Go away for an encore, come back, hit, 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 thank you, good night.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Makes sense.
Yeah, and it was awesome. It was awesome. And every song was like, oh yeah, that song. Oh yeah, that song, you know.
No.
And so if you're a tribute act, play the hits, man, knock it off, you know. You know, if you happen to own a brand, like say like you're the last surviving member of a band and you're the last guy there and you weren't even part of the original lineup, but you still own it. Don't write new
Right.
songs. Don't play them don't play us new songs, man. We're just I don't want to hear your new record. Nobody does. We want to hear the hits. It's what we paid to hear. Please play the hits. Thank you very much.
Right.
Only
Exactly.
if you have original members in your band, are you allowed to record new shit. I think that's real. That's
Or a
real.
majority, you know, or a majority of original members,
If you
you
got
know,
one
like
guy left, you're allowed to
yeah,
play.
nah.
Well, you do.
If
Well,
you go, if you got one guy left, fucking pull a Ringo Starr and do Ringo Starr in the All Star Band.
You know, that's a great show if you've never seen it. It's a great show if you've never seen it.
I
Man.
haven't. I'm pretty sure Ringo Starr retired by the time I got into like chance to see concerts, but
No. He's out there touring with the All Star Band every year.
Jesus, that's like the least loved member of a band just trying to fucking milk it.
Dude,
nah,
everybody.
he's
No. He's his own thing, and his band is awesome. It's got Steve Lukather from Toto's in it. I mean, it's all star. It's all everybody in the band has had hits.
All right, well, all right, man. I got to re-listen to this. I'm listening to their shit. I mean,
Yeah, don't be a
I
racist against Ringo, man.
I ain't a racist. I ain't a racist against any British musician, but Jesus Christ, I mean, that'd be like, oh, you know that one guy who worked for Prince? Let's go see him live.
Well,
Like it's like
it's a little
Jesus
different, but
Christ.
I mean, there are people
I
that
don't
go see
know.
Wendy and Lisa live, you know, from the
right.
Revolution band. That's still a thing,
Exactly.
you know. So,
I mean, and they sound hot, so I mean, I'll be down. But
eh.
well, I gotta ask my co-host here, Chancy, what did you think of Kisses Alive 2?
Dude, it's fucking Kiss. I mean, literally. That's all. What do you got to say? Like, fucking. My mom and her best friend I grew up listening to like ZZ Top, Kiss, Foreigner, fucking Journey, Ted Nugent. Like, that's what it was. Outside of my dad listening, you know, to like, you know, 50s and 60s, you know, like doo-wop, R&B, rock and roll. Like, that's what it was. That's all I had exposure to for the longest time until like I stumbled into my aunt's and heard Black Sabbath one day on one of the kick-ass, you know, cabinet stereo record players.
Yeah, the big old wooden thing.
Yeah,
It
dude.
like pickup. It was insane.
Right.
It was way more than human. Yeah.
It was loud as fucking all get out and just the coolest thing in the world. Just
Thick
in time for
carpet.
that just fucking and I'm like, oh my god. Yeah, that was it. But yeah, dude, Kiss it's fucking Kiss, man. Like there's some albums you could have went with that I would have been a little bit less enthusiastic about, but like
Well, like I said, like the Elder.
or yeah.
Kiss the Elder. Let's do the Elder, man.
Oh God, I forgot about that one. That's awful.
Unmasked.
Oh, dude, those were so bad. Like, Lick It Up. I heard Lick It Up, and I was like, "Are you like who is this fucking?" And then I saw the video, and I was like, "Who is this?" And it said at the end, and I was like, "No, it's not. They're
Yeah,
fucking
but
lying."
dude, and
Oh,
I saw
oh,
in that era, right? The
fuck,
unmaked up era,
Yeah,
and
fuck,
you know what, dude?
fuck.
It was a great show.
I'll bet
Well,
it still
okay.
was. I mean,
With
All
that
right,
right there,
the
I gotta do
doctor's
my
getting
review.
mad.
I gotta do my review at this point because, see, you're right. It's Kiss, and fucking Kiss is legendary. They truly are. But here's my thing about this show. I hate live albums. I fucking hate them because the sound quality is not what it is for studio albums. And I mean, I went along with this. I basically came up with this idea for a theme for the pod for this episode because, like, why the fuck not? And that's why I picked what I picked. But it's just like I hate live albums with a passion. And Kiss "Lick It Up" is when I got into Kiss. That was the first. That was one of the first Kiss songs I really knew besides "Rock and Roll All Night" and fucking. I think that's pretty much it. Maybe Detroit Rock City, but I bought a CD in high school at FYE called. I forget what the fuck it was exactly called, but it was like the dirtiest rock songs in history or something along those lines. And "Lick It
makes
Up,"
sense.
"Lick It Up" by Kiss was the one Kiss song on the album.
That
Yeah,
tracks.
And
they had more than that. They had a song called "Let's
I
Get
was gonna,
Free from
yeah,
Sex." You know what I
yeah,
mean?
right.
well, that's the song that made this CD was
Okay.
"Lick It Up" by Kiss, and that's the first Kiss song I really fell in love with, which I was highly disappointed it was on this album. Highly disappointed, but because that
This is
song
what I
is,
live with. This is what I live with. This is what I deal with. I'm a
but
All
fucking
right.
masochist, dude. This guy's
Hey, there's
yeah,
chocolate and vanilla ice cream. It's all good.
I mean,
yeah.
but that song is legendary. Don't get me wrong. "Lick It Up" is fucking legendary. It's what made me fall in love with Kiss. Is that fucking song? Because I mean, a song about eating pussy, I'm fucking good for it. But it's
No, it's
just,
about lapping up life. Didn't you? If you hear it, it ain't a
it was
crime to be good to yourself. Lick it up.
it was literally on an album called the dirtiest rock songs in history, or the fuck it was called. For like I was in high school. Like it is what it is. Like I fucking fell in love with that album. I wish I still had that album because I don't. But I don't think I do at least. But I literally fell in love with that album. Like the dirtiest rock song in history. "Lick It Up," "Cherry Pie," and like a lot of other classic rock songs. But I fell in love with this whole CD for the most part, and Kiss's "Lick It Up" was a huge part of that. A huge part of that, and that's when I fell in love with Kiss. I mean, as I got older, I explored more Kiss stuff, and I love Kiss. Don't get me wrong, Gene Simmons is a fucking god. He really is. But I just didn't have. I mean, I love Kiss, but live, they're a whole different beast. They're a whole fucking different beast. And I mean, don't get me wrong, if I could see them live, I still would to this day. I still fucking would because they're Kiss. But and you say they took the makeup off, that kind of pisses me off because they are who they are because of the makeup. Because they were something.
Nah, nah, man.
No,
Without
no,
the
no,
makeup, they.
no.
I like both eras. I like both eras, so I'm not gonna hate. I
I,
thought
I'm
Taylor
not
was
gonna
a
say
great guitar player.
I'm not gonna say I hate either era, but
Yeah.
I mean, without the makeup, like that's like to me that's like a crime. That's like ICP taking off their makeup or fucking Guar taking off their mask or fucking Lori taking off their costumes. Like it's a crime. It's a fucking crime against humanity because they are who they are because of the fucking makeup,
A
the
little
makeup and
harsh.
the costumes.
A little harsh.
I mean,
Well,
that'd be like see,
Yeah,
I think
that'd
once
be
they
like
started
seeing.
get, I think once they got a little
And,
older and they realized that that I guess
dude,
45 is the
are,
cap of
are
sexiness.
are
That
you
that's
are
when they
you
put it
fucking
back
kidding
on.
me? ICP has been performing for fucking 20 plus years without ever taking their face paint off. Like,
Yeah, but
like
you know, I like I would say maybe 1/16 of the fan base that Kiss has gives half. I don't even think they would give 2 nickels on a 10-cent fuck about ICP. I'm just saying, but like,
well, I mean, as Violent J said in one of his songs, Gene Simmons, Psycho Circus, you stole my shit.
and fucking, he can be pissed about it all he wants. If he did, fucking prove it. Fucking, I guess, because that in that case, then you'd have got some of Gene's money. But you
It's not about the
know,
money. It's not about the money to
what
them.
do
It
you
never
mean?
has
What are you
been.
talking about? What are you talking about? Dude, both Gene and Paul will tell you it's not only about the music, it's about the fucking money. Gene,
Talk about
especially Gene. Especially
talk,
Gene.
wait,
I mean,
Chancy, Chancy,
okay.
hold on. Let me get on this. This is what it would sound like. Doctor, the thing is that money is the most important part of the music business. See, business is a bigger word. That's my best Gene impression I can do. I'm sorry.
That
But I
Is that
mean,
that's
good?
solid. That's solid. That's solid.
I mean, they may say that. ICP would never say that. It's not about the money to them. It never has
Well,
been.
that's great.
It,
Then
Can
it's
we
about
can
the
we can we
performance.
bury can we drop the ICP bone? Like, nobody cares. Nobody cares about ICP.
All right, fuck
ICP's not on this
ICP.
show.
be
ICP's
careful,
not
man.
on this show for
You're gonna
one.
get some juggalos at your
All
house.
right, I am a juggalo, but I mean, drop ICP even. Lordy and fucking Slipknot would never say it's not about the performance.
Yeah, but okay, fair enough. All right, but Kiss did come back and do their thing once they got about 45 and they realized they weren't that sexy anymore. And they said, "All right, well, let's put the music." Serious. They put the makeup on, and we'll do it for another 20 years,
I mean,
and it'll look
I mean,
like 1977 all over again.
I'm
You
not
know?
gonna lie.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna pull a fucking German move here, but Gene Simmons without makeup is just a fucking Jew with a fat nose.
Oh, come on, take it easy now. Take it
I'm just
Yeah.
easy.
saying. I'm
Take
just
it
No.
saying. I'm
easy.
just saying.
No.
No,
No,
Nimmersaw.
I mean,
dude.
I'm not gonna lie. I loved a Family Guy when like Lois knew them all by name. They were like Lois.
All right, take it
Like
easy there, Free Palestine. Settle down. All
it's
right, so
fucking classic. It's fucking
take it
classic.
easy there, River to the Sea. Hold on.
I mean, no. That's first season. That's first season Family Guy. That's fucking classic. But I'm not gonna lie, it's fucking classic. But I mean, it's just like it's. I don't know.
You'll have you'll have to forgive my friend from Massachusetts. He's mostly retarded.
Oh, come
Shut
on.
up, dude.
Let's get
Shut
all
the fuck
sensitive
up.
now. No, listen. I mean, look,
I
he's the first
mean,
person. Look, Gene Simmons is the first person to tell you that he is truly a Semite. You know what I mean? It's not a big deal.
obviously.
You know what I mean? He's from Israel. You know what I mean? But yeah, okay. And
I,
Paul is too. Paul is also
Yeah.
Jewish as well. You know,
wait a
um,
minute. Is Paul the motherfucking? I don't know all their names by heart. I'm sorry, but is Paul the motherfucking drummer that wanted to be a cat?
No, that
that's
was Peter Chris.
Okay. I thought. Oh yeah, because nope. Because I remember that only because Peter Griffin said nobody wants to be Peter Chris, even Peter Chris. But I mean, I mean, like Kiss live.
Peter Griffin is a fictitious character. You realize that, right?
I realize that.
He does not. He really does not.
I,
Every anything he
actually,
ever understands or identifies has to have like a South Park, Simpsons, Family Guy reference, or it might as well be in
okay.
fucking in Pluto.
Peter Griffin is a fictional character. I realize that, but he speaks a lot of truth in what the fuck he says. So I do go by what he says a lot. I mean, Seth MacFarlane was a genius in those first couple seasons. I'm not gonna lie, but I
I
mean,
think the
it's
guy's a genius, period, personally. But
I mean, he is. He really is. But I'm not gonna lie. I love Kiss. I love fucking Kiss. But live albums are not my jam. But I wanted to keep that theme for this episode because we haven't done a live episode yet. Technically, I mean, a live episode about live albums. That's ironic, and that's kind of my thing. But
don't you
like,
think?
we never done a live episode about live albums, and I fucking wanted to keep that theme going. So that's why I did what I did. But I am not a fan of live albums, and these three albums just fucking prove that to me. more than ever because I love all three. I love all three of these bands and their studio albums. Live, it's different when you're at the show because, well, okay, I'll get to that a little bit later. I'll get to that a little bit fucking later with the one band of these three that I've seen live. But I gotta ask one, what are your top five off of the Kisses album?
What are my top 5 like Kiss albums? Period.
No,
No,
your
just
top
off
five
of Alive 2.
Alpha Live 2. What are your top five songs?
Oh, well, I mean, of course, Detroit Rock City, God of Thunder, I Stole Your Love is just classic. I mean, I Stole Your Love, dude. Come on. You know? That's like the ultimate song, a show starter. I love that song. Um Shout It Out Loud. I mean, the classics, the hits, I mean, it's awesome. And Rocket Ride, this one song, the one studio song that I really like. I don't know, man. It's such a great record, like from start to start to finish. It was recorded in L.A. at the Forum. I'm sure that there were some overdubs done in the studio, like all live records do. They record it live and then they overdub vocals that have gone flat or the guy's voice cracked or the guitar player kind of blows the lead or whatever. They'll overdub it and they'll just play it play it in the studio and then just give it that live EQ treatment and move on. I mean, so I know Alive 2 is like Alive 1. It's live, sure, but I'm sure there was some fixing going on the back end.
I
I
don't
can't
know
think of a
about
live.
that. I really don't know
Pardon?
about that. I
Why
don't
do
know
you say
about
that?
that because it just seems like this is a full. This seems like they recorded it straight out of concert or two concerts or.
No, it's multi-tracked. It's multi-tracked, and then they had multiple microphones in the room, and then they took the reels of tape into a studio to mix later on. All
I
live
mean,
records
if
are done that way.
if that's what live
All
records are
live
done,
records. All live
if they do
records get
live,
done that way.
I mean, if they do live records like that, then they're doing just pure shit. Like, I mean, I don't want to hear the audience singing the song. I want to hear the fucking band singing the song. Like,
No, I got you, but the idea is that you're in an audience experience when you're listening to it. That's the idea of a live record.
I
Right.
mean,
I mean,
I get it. I get it. I get it. You want to do a live record so you could hear the audience in the background. You're like, I get it. Like, I get the appeal to it, but just it pisses me the fuck off. I mean, there's reason that most of my favorite bands never done a live record because of shit like that. Like, there's reasons.
well,
I mean,
it
even
depends on the era, mate. I mean, that's the thing is that in the 70s and 80s, live records were kind of a staple because
well,
if a band
I
was
get
it
that.
had to fulfill a contract or they were feeling creatively on a slump, they'd go on tour, they record a live record, then they go into the studio and cut one or two songs to accompany the live record to be a single release so that they could sell the record, right?
I mean,
And then
I
and then
get that.
possibly even
I get that.
tour on the residuals of the live record. So
Right.
so that it's a business thing, and
I mean,
the reason why there is no market for live records these days is because there's so much bootlegging that happens on YouTube. You know what I mean?
and
So the
and
market,
and Spotify and every fucking music fucking thing out there.
yeah, but I mean, but like on YouTube, you can sit there with your phone and bootleg the show, and it'll sound
Yeah.
okay. And if you string enough live videos from around the country or around Europe on a tour or whatever, you can get the whole set list and you can make your own live bootleg just off of YouTube. So
Oh, I know
you
that.
know, and the bands, they get the music licensing for it, so they're not really that mad because the algorithm does pick up the fact that their music is being performed, so they do receive whatever royalties would be happening from streaming, whether it be their music video or a live video or whatever. So there is copyright claim that pops onto these videos when they get put up on YouTube, but there's no market to go out there and sell a live record anymore. Hell, there's hardly a market to go out there and sell a record, period.
Right.
There's not.
So
I mean,
so
I get that. There's not. I mean, I mean, yeah, I hate to use this band again, but I mean, Nightwish puts out their newest album. Everybody's listening to it on Spotify. Everybody's listening to it on fucking Pandora, whatever the fuck you're
sure.
using for your music streaming experience. And
Yeah, and the mega fans will buy the vinyl and they'll show up at the show to get it signed.
Right.
And that's how it rolls. Or they'll be selling the vinyl at the merch with their autographs already on it, so people can lie and say, "Yeah, man, the band signed this for me." You know what I mean? And then the band gets the royalties. But I'll tell you how that works too. The bands themselves, they have to buy the vinyl and the CDs from their record label at wholesale prices to sell it at retail at the shows.
Not to mention the sometimes having to cover part of the fee with the venue.
Oh yeah. Well, typically it depends on the contract that you sign, of course, but like most of the venues they won't take money on what they call hard goods, and that's recordings, right?
Oh,
But
okay.
they
Right.
do take 20 and 30% typically
Like
on soft goods,
t-shirts and
shirts, hats, etc.
yeah.
But if the venue's super cool, they usually don't take anything, but some will take 10%
Yeah.
on hard. So, that's why your t-shirt costs $50 at the show, because the band still has to make their money to get down the road with the gasoline,
Yeah.
And
So
that makes me feel like an asshole for never going to the merch booth. But
Oh, yeah,
like
that was when I went to my first DFD show. That was the first place I went. I would drop like $150 in the merch table, just fucking shut up and take my money.
yeah, right.
Fuck yeah, man. I was the first time I was able to see that band in like 10 years because they broke up, and like it was the first time they got back together and was in the area. It was like right around my birthday. It was like the fucking stars lined up. It's like I'm fucking there, man. I don't care if I have to kick a kitten. I'm going into that motherfucker.
I mean, I mean, if you don't know who DFD is, Juan, it's Dog Fashion Disco, and they're fucking incredible. But
Oh
I don't
yeah,
blame
sorry.
I
I'll
don't
check
blame
it
you.
out.
I would buy their merch 100% because it's DFD. But which thanks to Chancy for introducing me to that band. But I
Yeah,
mean,
I think you'd like them.
Okay, I'll check it out.
You would. They're one of the most unique bands I've ever heard in my life. They have so many different styles to their music, like it's just fucking ridiculous. But like they're not like these bands that even I brought from the '80s, where like every song is somewhat similar. Like every song sounds fucking different. Like
Okay.
it's phenomenal. Like Dog Fashion Disco is phenomenal. I'm not gonna lie. But
I will check it out.
we actually did a bracket of their songs back last year for Chance's birthday, and it was fucking incredible. Like I wish I could find more people to do. I honestly, DFT actually liked our post on like Instagram and shit. I would love to get them on the show to do like a fucking bracket of their songs, just to see like what songs they prefer over other ones. Like it'd be a phenomenal thing. But
Yeah. Have them sacrifice
but
their own children at the altar of Dr. Feelgood.
exactly, X fucking exactly. But Chancey, what were your top 5 off of Kiss's album?
I had 2 honorable mentions here. So
Oh,
number
me
7
too. We're even.
number 7 for me was All American Man. Number 6 was God of Thunder.
Yes.
Number 5 was Shock Me.
Yes.
Number 4 was Calling Dr. Love.
Yes.
3 was Shouted Out Loud.
Yes.
2 was Love Gun. And if I have the option to do so, my number 1 will always be Detroit Rock City, dude. Ace Frehley was a fucking genius, man. Well, he
Great
still is.
show opener.
Fuck,
Great show
man.
opener.
Just that riff, it just fucking does something to you. Like you could be in the middle of doing nothing, and all of a sudden, just ba-da, 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 ba-da. It's like, all right, well, we're doing some shit right now. Here
Exactly.
we go.
X fucking exactly. And it's funny, Chancey, because we actually had one that matched, but other than that, none of ours matched. But
I'm not shocked there.
I am. But I mean, speaking of shock, I mean, I had 7 as well. My number 7 was Shock Me, because the guitar work was incredible. But my fucking god, never let Ace sing a song. Never let Ace sing a song. That's my message on that one.
Well, why? Because he drinks a lot or drank a lot? Is that why?
No, I got no problem with that, but like he just can't sing for shit. But my number 6 was, and actually it's funny because my number 4 through 7 are songs I really didn't know of Kisses. I actually like because of this album, but including Shock Me. But number 6 was Making Love. I never heard that Kiss song before, but it's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Number five was God of Thunder because I never knew about God of Thunder, but as a comic book
Well,
fan,
that's on Destroyer. That's on the album
Yeah.
Destroyer. And in all
I
fairness, Destroyer is the Night of the Opera of Kiss. It is absolutely like
I know
their
that I know that comparison, but
The quintessential album.
I never deep dove into Kiss. Like I like their
doesn't
hits. I
matter.
never deep.
Get Destroyer. I mean, or go to Spotify or whatever you listen to music
All
on,
right. Well,
and
okay.
Destroyer front to back. You do
All
that,
right.
and I'll listen to your DFD thing because I'm curious now on that as well.
Okay.
Well, I'm the
the
one.
DF
I'm the proponent of DFD, but yeah. And I'm already about Destroyer, dude. Fucking, that's like I said. That's
I
the
mean,
quintessential. That's the quintessential Kiss album.
Friggin'
Fucking.
art.
I,
That record's art.
I was gonna say DFD is Chancy's thing 100%. He got me into it. So, I mean, I just fucking fell in love with the band because of him, and I have every album of theirs on my list of Spotify now because of they're fucking incredible. But God of Thunder, I never knew about till I fucking was my number five. I never knew about that song either until I heard this album, and I was like, oh, I'm a comic book fan. That's fucking incredible. My number four is I Want You because I don't think I ever heard that song before either.
I want
But
you.
that song is pretty fucking good live, even. And then my top three. Actually, no, okay, I'm not gonna. Actually, I'm lying. I'm fucking lying. My top three, I didn't really know all of them. My number three is Detroit Rock City because it's a fucking classic. I can't say I love it live. If it was a studio version, I might like it. I would have definitely played number one if it was that album. But I'm not a big fan of it live because I mean, just I feel like when it's live, the guitar's lacking, the drums are lacking. Like they just don't have the studio fucking like sound to it. They don't. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It pisses me off. My number two was Love Gun because I don't think I knew that song, but that song fucking impressed the shit out of me. So, and I mean, who doesn't like a song about their dick? So, and then my number one obviously is one of my favorite Kiss songs of all time, which is "Shout Out Loud" because you gotta have a party. But I mean,
You do.
Shout Out Loud is fucking phenomenal. Live in studio, it's always phenomenal because it's a song that's meant for live, in my opinion. Like it's the
Yeah.
one song that is truly meant for live because it's a party song. It's a party song. Like I love Shout Out Loud. It's a fucking like I said. I wish they had Lick It Up on this album because it probably would be my first pick. But I
It
mean,
was
Lick It Up is
too soon. Too soon.
but I don't know. Lick It Up to me is just fucking incredible. But I
Oh yeah. I
and
mean, it's a great song.
And I mean, if you're gonna be Gene Simmons with that tongue, you do it. I don't know. Did this album come out? I know it came out in the '70s, but
Yeah.
did it come out before? But did it come out before they did Lick It Up, like on an album?
Yeah,
Or no?
Yeah.
5 years. Like
Yeah.
5 years.
Okay,
before
okay,
they did.
okay. I figured that's what it was. Like I figured because you're not gonna go live with Gene Simmons' tongue and not do that song, but like you're not going to because he has. That's one of the things I always know about Gene Simmons is he always had the fucking like one of the longest tongues ever. Which I mean,
There's a funny story behind that. Actually, he was on the Oprah Winfrey Show, right? And
ooh.
Oprah asks him, "How long is that tongue of yours?" He goes, "Long enough to make you one of my very best friends, Oprah."
Yeah.
I fucking love it. I
Yeah.
fucking love it. I've never heard that story. That's fucking hilarious. And all of M Cube's condolences to Oprah, who is now retiring because she's useless. But whatever. She's retiring now apparently. But
I didn't even know that.
Was she ever useful? I'm curious.
she wasn't. She wasn't. She was just a
Not to
fucking
me.
I've
face in the world. But I mean, she was always just.
News to me.
She,
I don't know what's going on.
She somebody bought the company that like The View is put on, and they fired Oprah.
Well,
It's a
she's
recent
not on The
news.
View.
Yeah.
I think you're talking about Whoopi.
Oh, maybe I am. I don't fuck. Oh no, Oprah fucking hung it up a long time ago because of fucking Just not
Well,
getting it.
She's been retired for a while.
she bought her own channel, so I mean, she
Yeah, she's
didn't
got
have to.
Own.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
right. Own. Yeah, I mean, I
So
don't know.
yeah, fucking
Maybe,
wrap it up,
maybe,
Captain Jackass. We got another fucking album to talk about. Let's go. Fucking
and
We
A.
got the Slayer
Jesus.
record and Feel Good.
I mean, that means, folks, that must be time to go to Chance's album because he's never that excited about my album. So much to go Chance's album. What
Yeah,
album do you want to go,
so
Chancey, and why?
honestly, I went with Live Undead because I mean it's fucking Slayer. Like I was like, oh, I guess we're gonna try to do a live album thing. Fucking, I have only brought Raining Blood on, so fucking obviously Live Undead. And also bonus, it's 23 minutes long. So like fucking
I'm not gonna lie. Out of these three albums, it was like the coup de grace because it was like fucking the 23 minutes was like, oh, thank you, God.
yeah, it was kind of it was one of those things until I found out that you were actually like a fan of the band. I was like, either it's 23 minutes that they'll just have to sit through and get through, and it's not that bad for them, or they like it, and I don't have to fucking worry about it anyways. So like, you know what? Fuck it. Live Undead.
Great stuff,
I mean,
Fuck
man.
yeah. Fuck
well,
yeah.
Juan, what did you think of Chance's album?
Well, I remember it when I was younger, right? And because I was into all the heavy stuff too. I mean, on top of the glam rock stuff, I was into Metallica, Megadeth, all of the '80s heavy stuff, Testament, Exodus,
Nah.
and then of course Slayer, of course, and this particular record is an old one. It's '84,
Yep.
when this was happening, it was 2 years after Lick It Up, and it was the same year as it was happening when Purple Rain was happening, and just to put into musical perspective, the Eurythmics were huge in 1984, and so was
Yeah.
Cyndi Lauper, and Footloose hadn't even come out yet, let alone Top Gun.
Oh,
So
we all need to see Kevin Bacon do that dance every once in a while.
but this record they're still really punk. Back then they were still really into they were in their Motorhead phase, and they were like into the heavy punk stuff like Discharge, and so you could totally hear that. I mean, the band evolved into their own sound, which they still had then, but because it was that kind of like LA thrash kind of sound. So it's a great record. It's a great testament to a bunch of young guys really like finding their foothold in music, and you can just feel it, how angry and how hungry they are when you're listening to this record. So it's 5 out of 5, of course, and yeah, of course it could sound better, blah blah blah. You know what I mean?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. You can understand the lyrics better on a Slayer studio album than you can a live album. But if there's one band out of these three that can pull off a live album, it's fucking Slayer. Because they just rocked it. I mean, 23 minutes, yeah, it's all it is, but 23 minutes that my life was fucking 100% rocked. Like, I fucking enjoyed the shit out of that 23 minutes. Like, Slayer sounds closer to perfect as they do live as they do in studio. I don't know what it is, if it was a difference in years and they just had better recording equipment or
No,
whatnot, but
I think it was the time, because like
I
with it,
mean,
he was like he was saying, it was '84. So like
I
with
mean,
this being a live album, Tom could still hit
I
them
mean,
nasty shrill highs that he got.
I mean, I don't know if it's because I had a couple of Steve Wipes when I listened to this album. Like, I don't know what it is, but it's just that album. Fucking, I mean, I'm even gonna say like them live is better than my album live. Like, it really is.
I
Like,
went and saw him shortly after Jeff Hanneman died. They were co-headlining with King Diamond, and
I mean,
watching him do it then, it was like, fuck,
see,
man.
see,
wait, after
my
Hanneman died,
The guy from Exodus.
Yeah, Gary Holt, but I mean they
Garrett, yeah.
they wouldn't be co-headlining with Diamond. They'd be headlining over Diamond at that point. They were bigger than Diamond.
Well, yeah,
Well,
but it was still billed as a co-headline because like
I guess.
it was at some
everything-
casino. It was at some casino, and both of them were, like I said, it was a co-headline because they had like 3 or 4 bands ahead of time, and then King Diamond went up, and then after Diamond it was Slayer, and Slayer finished out the show, but it
Well, I
was
mean,
billed as a co-headline.
well, I mean, if Slayer finishes out the show, then they're the fucking headline. It doesn't matter
Well,
what the hell they call it.
It just
But
could have been that way in the draw because if
I mean,
if it's a co-headline, they'll swap out.
it's funny because in 2006, in my senior year of high school, I bought tickets with my parents' credit card to see Marilyn Manson and Slayer in concert together in fucking New York City.
Okay.
And my parents wouldn't let me go to the concert because they want me to ride to New York City alone. Like my parents
I
who were
mean,
divorced, my parents were divorced at the time, actually came together and said like, we don't want you driving to New York City alone. Like my dad drove me down there like 2 years later to see fucking Cradle of Filth, but I couldn't go see Slayer or Marilyn Manson. Like it was a fucking
Cradle of
bullshit
Filth.
ass move. Oh, dude, I fucking love Cradle of Filth. Like if they actually had a live album, I might have brought it on this one. I might have, but I don't think they have actual. I don't think they have an actual live album. But I mean, they have a lot of great albums, but I don't think any of them are live. But they like it pissed me off to this day. Like fucking 2006 to now, like 20 years later almost. 18 years later almost. It pissed me off that they wouldn't let me go to that concert by myself because I have yet to see Marilyn Manson live, and that haunts me to my deepest core. But
I
because Marilyn
did
Manson is
many times.
I'm sure with your fucking career, dude.
I saw them. I saw
sure.
them. I saw Marilyn Manson and the Spooky Kids in a place called the Rocket Club back in 1991 and 92. When he
Dude,
before he used to walk around with a
okay,
little lunchbox and all that.
dude. In 1991, 1992, I was like 3, 4 years old, so I would have
34
loved to see
years
them all.
old.
3 or 4.
3 or 4.
Well, you look great.
I mean, I'm 30. I'm 36 fucking now, so 34 now. But 3 or 4 years old, I would have like Marilyn Manson is one of my gods in for the last fucking decade. So I would have loved to see him live, like for like the last like almost 2 decades. Marilyn Manson's been one of my gods, so I would have loved seeing him live. But I still might get that chance one day. Who the fuck knows?
He'll come
But
back.
uh,
When he
he,
needs to remodel the bathroom, he'll come back.
I'm pretty sure he's actually working on new shit now. I'm pretty sure because it's been a while since his last album, which I didn't even listen to, because he just yeah. I mean
I had heard he got cleaned up and was doing pretty well, which is fucking awesome to hear.
I mean, it's awesome to hear, but like Eminem, when he gets clean, I really don't know if I'm like his music. But
Honestly, I fucking it can only get better for Marilyn Manson with him
I
being
don't know
sober.
about that.
With him
Yeah,
being with him being as wasted as he was, have you not seen some of the fucking videos that they showed of his live shows where he was just fucking
oh,
tits up, just straight up fucking shithoused, wasted and
I
useless on the fucking thing? I
mean,
mean, that's
okay.
I'd be so mad if I fucking spent my money buying that fucking
Well,
ticket. Are you kidding me?
see, live is one thing. I'm I actually have a story to tell about that for my album, but I mean, I don't know. Live is one thing, but after Pale Emperor, like I don't know if I could like his new album. Like Pale Emperor was fucking incredible, and then like his new album came out, and I was like, I don't know. I haven't listened to it fully yet. I gotta give it a chance. But maybe I'll do that this week at work. I'll see. But this week's hard. Maybe next week. But I mean, I mean, as far as Slayer goes live, though, they were fucking incredible. Like live, Slayer was incredible, as incredible as they are in a studio album. Like I don't know what the fuck it was, but they just fucking stood up better than either or two albums live. So out of the 3 live albums, Slayer was definitely the best, in my opinion. But it's just I don't know. I mean, I enjoy them live, but I feel like I would enjoy them more in a studio album because I do like Slayer. Raining Blood is fucking classic. It really is.
Not on this
But
record though.
it's on this
Yeah.
record now.
No.
I don't know. I realize that, but some of the songs on this record are classic as well. And I'll get that in my top 5. Or actually, I ranked all the songs this album because there's only 7 songs long. So
Yeah, all you gotta do is eliminate 2 of them, and it's your top 5.
Yeah, right.
I,
I mean,
I,
there was a reissue that came out. I guess it's got like four more
I
songs.
mean,
Or 5 more songs.
I did all 7 songs. So why the fuck not? But I mean, I fucking like Slayer. I love Slayer to some degree, but it just still pisses me off that I'm supposed to see them in Marilyn Manson live, and I feel like that would have been an amazing concert to see, like in the fucking 2006 era.
Oh yeah, at that point for sure, because it would have been still both Hanneman and Kerry King fucking kicking the shit out of stuff. It'd have been great.
And it would have been Marilyn Manson in his fucking prime when he just finished his fucking trilogy of like Antichrist Superstar era.
Did Lombardo come back around that
Yeah.
time frame as well? I thought they were
Yeah.
all
Yeah, he did.
And I'm pretty sure that's before.
I'm
I'm pretty sure it's before Manson lost like fucking Ginger and all the other ones.
Is it? I gotta ask. Is it true that he doesn't warm up before a show?
Who?
Lombardo.
I mean, from what I remember, because we were in a support act environment, so we were only playing 35 minutes. So
Valid.
I don't remember him really warming up. I remember the first song was what he called his warm up.
Yeah.
And so the first song like had like a kind of it was a Grip Incorporated, had like a lot of groove and stuff, and it wasn't just straight up thrash. And so the first song was kind of like a nice warm up, and then man, I just remember there were certain nights when they would play, and at the end of the night, it was just I was just blown away by the level of talent that I was seeing.
I mean,
at such a close range,
Right.
I mean, it's fucking Slayer. It's fucking Slayer. How could you not be impressed?
Yeah, it was just something. And of course, being a fan before I started working for him, it was a different animal too. You really idolize. You really get to feel that like what that you were liking something that was cool. It's one thing
for sure.
Sometimes you meet your idols and they suck, and other times you meet them and they're actually all right, and they're cool,
Yeah, I always thought that was fucking crazy because he always talked about especially like for doing Slayer shows, that he's like, why do I need to do a warm up? The first song that we play is always my warm up. And then I was always like, man, that's fucking intense because some of them Slayer songs get it. And
that's metal. That's what that is. That's metal.
When I had heard that you were a drum tech of his, I was like, I gotta fucking ask. If anybody's gonna know, it's gonna be this.
Yeah, I don't
guy.
remember him like. I don't remember having like a practice kit or anything like that back in those days. Keep in mind, we're talking about a memory. It's almost 30 years old. So,
valid.
So I there's definitely some core memories that I remember from that tour, and I don't remember him warming up. I'm sorry.
No, you're good, man. No, you're good. You're good. It's just personal curiosity.
Well, actually, when the fuck was the last album Slayer put out? Even I don't think they're putting out new albums anymore, are they?
No,
they quit.
Yeah, Kerry King started up a new band, but and I think Exodus is still doing stuff. I don't know if they got back together or not, but
I got a funny Kerry King story.
So, yeah,
I was the production manager for Dean Guitars. I used to do this event over at NAMM. NAMM is like a big convention for musical gear. And so Dean Guitars would put on this like show that was highlighting Dean artists, and it was a free concert, and it was industry people would come, and it was kind of like hanging out with the execs of all these instrument companies and that kind of thing, and say people that wanted to buy Dean products and whatever, and they'd hold these shows. So Megadeth was the headliner of that tour, of that show, and so I was the production manager, which meant that I had to get all the bands on and off stage. I did all the advancing. I did that. Whatever had to get done I was the liaison for the company at the venue. And then of course, the bands themselves had their own management, their own sound guys, et cetera, whatever. So right before Megadeth comes on, Dave Mustaine's wife comes up to me. She goes like, listen, nobody is allowed to stand here in this wing, like this one spot, right? No, don't let anybody stand. And I'm like, okay, sure. I'm not security, but I'll do this until security arrives, and I'll get somebody to make sure nobody stands here. All right. So she walks away, and like 5 minutes later, here comes Kerry King. And he comes walking and he stands right where he's not supposed to stand. Right. And now I have to be that guy to Kerry King, you know what I mean? Like this idol, this guy that I was such a fan of. And I go up to him and I'm like, listen, I know who you are. Okay, so this isn't about that. But I was just told not more than 5 minutes ago by Mrs. Mustaine that nobody is supposed to stand here, and I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do right now.
Right? What do you do?
I'm sure you're authorized to be here, but you know what I mean? Like I don't know what
Right?
to do, And right then and there, she comes walking by and she goes, "Oh, hey, Carrie, come with us." And I'm like, "Oh, thank God." You know what I mean? Like I didn't have to be that
Fuck.
guy. You know what I mean?
Fucking crisis averted.
I didn't have to be that guy.
Oh shit.
Because he immediately rolled his eyes like, "Oh fuck. Well, I guess just tell Dave I came by." You know what I mean? Like what do you do? What do you do? I didn't, I don't want to
Right?
be the guy to tell Mrs. Mustaine, Kerry King was here, but he was pissed that he left because he couldn't stand here. It's because you told me so. I mean,
Right? I don't know, man. I don't know. I would have just rolled the dice and been like, listen, how often are you going to be able to? How you going?
Well, what if Mustaine and Kerry King hated each other, and Kerry
I mean,
King
if
was
they,
there to throw marshmallows at him or something? I don't know. You know what I
I
mean?
get it.
You know what I mean? Like I don't know. What do you do?
I totally get it. Me personally, I would have rolled the dice because then, worst case scenario, you at least have a story where you get to say I was standing in physical proximity to both Kerry King and Dave Mustaine when they threw a bunch of fucking marshmallows at each other backstage in a fucking venue because they hated each other. That'd be so great. Oh my god, that's the greatest icebreaker story at any fucking party. Like, hey, you want to hear about the time I was in a fucking venue and Dave Mustaine and Kerry King threw a bunch of fucking hot chocolate marshmallows at each other or some shit?
Squeeze bottles of water in each other's faces. You know what I mean? Like
right?
mad at each other.
That's great.
Anyway, there's my Kerry King story. There you go.
Oh, that's good stuff. Oh shit. I honestly I wouldn't know what to do with myself either. It's like, I mean, what the fuck do you do? Like, you just got told by, somebody in front of somebody else that's somebody. It's like,
he's the boss, you know what I mean? So like, at least for that event she was, and so what am I supposed to do? I mean, they were getting ready to go on. Their actual tour manager was at front of house at the mixing console. They were literally 5 minutes away from starting the show, and my only job was to make sure that it happened at a particular time because we have, the venue has to be empty by a certain time. If not, we go into overtime, and it costs overages to the company and all these things you have to worry about as a production manager. So my only concern was making sure that Megadeth went on at 0 hour, and here we go,
right.
So
that's valid.
Yeah. At that moment, I had to be the de facto security guard to keep anybody off of the area that Kerry King decided he wanted to go stand at. So
no
big deal. It's no
yeah.
Deal. Forward.
Yeah, it ain't no thing.
All right. Are we going to talk about this Motley Crue thing or what?
Well, first, chances to give his top five off of, of course, Slayer's album.
Well, I mean, obviously, I went with all 7. So number 7 was Show No Mercy. Number 6 was Captor of Sin. Number 5 was Black Magic. Number 4 was Aggressive Perfector. 3 was The Antichrist. 2, Evil Has No Boundaries. And obviously, number 1's Die by the Sword. And honestly, 2, 3, and 4 are basically where they were because of just like the sheer out of nowhere placement of those high tone shrills that fucking Tom Araya used. Yeah, that he used to just pull out of his ass out of nowhere. I was like, I heard that live. And Jeremy, this is exactly what the pitch for a fucking live album would be. Because what you won't hear, well, actually, that's not true. On one song that I remember, fucking, which is, what is it? Fucking Angel of Death. That's like the only studio song that I can remember clearly off the top of my head where you hear the fucking thing that you hear in 3 separate songs on this live album.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, I understand your initial argument about why you don't like a live album, but without a live album environment or atmosphere, you wouldn't have those 3 high shrill improv sections of Tom Araya's vocals in either Evil Has No Boundaries, The Antichrist, or Aggressive Perfector.
Well, it's funny, Chancy, because we actually only have one in common, but I want to hear Juan's first. What are your top 5 songs off the Slaves album?
Well, I mean, the opener, Black Magic, is right out of the gate. You know, it's got that vibe. It gets you right into it. I could feel the mosh pit, the whole thing. Die by the Sword was never one of my favorites, but to me, the record picks up, you know, songs 4, 5, 6, and 7. Antichrist,
Yeah.
Evil, Show No Mercy, Aggressive Perfector. I mean, like, great. You know what I mean? Like, and I could feel the band like, okay, here we go. We're gonna do this is the next sound, so get used to it, kind of thing. And you know, but it's again, that whole record is just it's just a bunch of young dudes just kicking ass, and that's the magic of it. So,
well, like I said, I ranked all 7 songs for this album because why wouldn't I? So songs, and number 7 was Aggressive Protector. Number 6 was Evil Has No Boundaries because I feel like those songs were lacking live, if anything. I don't know, but my number 5 was Black Magic, which I think that's where we matched Chancy. But
yeah, it was.
My number 4 was Captor of Sin. My number 3 was Show No Mercy. My number 2 was Die by the Sword. And my number 1, because it was the most amazing song on a fucking live album, was The Antichrist.
and there you have
Yeah,
it.
it's good. It's good. It's a good song.
And the fact that my light went out on that one was fucking perfect. But
all right. So what did you bring?
Yes, the album I decided to bring for this episode because I wanted to keep the theme with live albums going. So the album that I decided to go with on this one was a little bit different. I mean, I love this band with a passion, as I'll tell in a second. But like, I love this band with a passion. So I wanted to bring Motley Crue's Carnival of Sin because I have seen Motley Crue live. I saw them live in 2007 with Aerosmith. Fucking amazing show. Tommy Lee, even in 2007, getting into the fucking cage, keep a drum beat like nobody else. So that's why I went with Motley Crue because I've seen them live. So if I'm gonna bring any band live, I'm gonna bring Motley Crue. ICP is another live album as far as I know. And I'm pretty sure I'm right on that. But no, most bands I listen to don't do live albums because they're European symphonic metal bands, and they just. I mean, I could have brought Powerwolf. I honestly could have brought Powerwolf, and I probably wanted to, but I'm like, you know what? Chancy's been complaining lately. I bring the same artist to every show, so I'm gonna bring someone I haven't brought before, and I'm gonna make it fucking magical.
Hey,
And
Punchy, I'll give you a guess as to the artist he keeps bringing that I say he keeps bringing all the time. I'll give you one guess.
ICP.
Oh my God! I wonder how you could have possibly guessed that answer.
See, it's funny he says that, but I'm pretty sure I brought ICP like 2 or 3 times out of
no, dude.
Out of 100. No, dude, I've brought Great Malenko, Ringmaster, and Bing Pow Boom. I'm pretty sure it's the only ICP I've ever brought this out to the show.
Hey man, wear what you dig.
I'm pretty sure out of 100 plus episodes, I brought 3 albums. So you can't really give me shit for that.
Riddlebox.
I haven't brought Roadblocks yet. Who the fuck are you kidding?
It doesn't matter. Check it. We'll have to check the list when we're done. It doesn't matter though.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I've only brought like 3 albums of ICP. So who the fuck you kidding? But
He's a fan. He's a fan. He's a fan.
I
Yeah, he's a
brought
fan.
I brought other hardcore artists, but I've only brought ICP 3 times. I'm pretty sure. But I mean, Motley Crue, I haven't had a chance to bring on the show yet, and I actually was looking through Motley Crue's like albums, like trying to pick an album to bring, and I'm like, fuck it. If he wants to do live albums, let's do live albums. Like, fuck it. Like, it's gonna be all the hits. But the funny thing is, they're not gonna be ranked in the way I would have ranked like Red, White, and Crew, their greatest hits album. They're not gonna be ranked in that way because it's live. It's not, and I'm ranking them based on how they perform live, not how they perform the song normally.
Dude,
So
if you think this record was recorded live, you're kidding yourself.
I mean, it sounds like it was. That's the way the
Well,
quality is, at
okay,
least.
probably Tommy Lee's drum track is live.
Maybe
And
McBars.
well, look, I listened to this record in studio and like a really nice set of studio phones, right? And you can hear the extra guitar tracks. You can hear the layered vocals. You can hear all this stuff that's happening. You can
Oh,
hear the fact that there's no way those vocals were live.
I
You
mean,
know,
as
I'm
someone
not
who's seen them,
hating. I'm not
I,
hating.
I
But
get
I mean,
that. I get that. But as
but
someone
it's
who's
not a
seen them
live
live,
record.
this seems like it's a live record.
Well, look, Tommy Lee always delivers. Forget about it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
But
obviously. I
but
mean,
but there's
if
look,
you have a fucking phallus that could steer a sailboat from the back, then you're gonna bring it live as well. But
yeah, we know he always delivers live. The guy's a really great drummer. Actually, look, I'm a Crew fan. I love Motley Crue and all that stuff. But I mean, it's definitely showbiz, and they use a lot of backing tracks, and it's okay. You know what I mean? It's still you're going to see a performance, yeah. So um, but this is not like a live record. There's a lot of studio magic going on in here. You can hear it.
If I
I mean,
if I'm not mistaken, I think they're all like it's got different when it says like where it was recorded, it's got like different locations. So like they would pick a song from this show
Yeah.
and then did it there and then did a show,
Yeah.
picked an
I mean,
album from this show.
last time I did a show with Crew, locally here in town, at the big amphitheater that we have here in town. I mean, during sound check, Tommy Lee was out there in front of house, like checking last night's show over the PA. No, like listening to the recording of the
Oh,
show
nice.
previous over the PA to hear, and just to hear back some of the show. You know what I mean? To hear how it went.
I mean,
But so yeah, I'm sure they track every night.
I,
And then they pick and choose, but there's definitely a lot of magic going on in the
I mean, like I
recording.
said, I've seen them live with Aerosmith. Tommy Lee was in the cage,
Yeah.
fucking drumming along, like it was fucking
Yep.
incredible.
Yep.
I mean, this Motley Crue, which I never brought in the show before, so I can get into it a little bit. Motley Crue, I got into in high school. I was walking the track at the local YMCA, and like I'm pretty sure my friend gave me like Red, White, and Crew, like Ray's Hits album, and like I fucking fell in love with this band. That's why when like in 2007 when they were live with Aerosmith, I told my dad like we have to go, and we ended up going. We bought a 6-pack of Heineken. We drank it on the way to the concert, and like it was fucking phenomenal. Like, I forget the name of the guy in Aerosmith who wears the top hat.
Oh shit.
You're thinking of
That's
Guns N' Roses.
Slash. Yeah, GNR.
Yeah, Slash came out. I'm pretty sure Slash came out in the Motley Crue like in the middle of their set and fucking started playing with them.
Well, maybe it's a guest spot, but
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe.
most likely, but because I'm pretty sure GNR was like pretty much dead at that point. But Slash came out and started playing with Motley
Wait,
Crue.
didn't Mick sometimes wear a hat?
Sometimes, but not top hat like that.
Later on, he
Yeah.
kinda,
I mean,
Yeah.
it was 2000. It was 2007, so it honestly could have been Mick. I honestly wouldn't know the difference. But
Ugh.
it seemed like there's a fifth member that came out and like with the top hat and started playing. So I
Yeah.
think it
Maybe it
was
was just the guest spot was Slash. Who
Yeah,
knows?
for
I
sure, for
mean,
sure, it's possible.
it was in New Jersey, so who the fuck knows? But I mean, somebody came out of the top hat like halfway through the show, started playing them. My dad was a drummer. My dad was a fucking drummer from the time he was in high school. At the time he was in a famous local band called Storm, like in New York. From the time he was in high school to the time like he was in like his 40s. Like he was in a famous band in the local area called Storm.
Okay.
That did covers. So my dad saw Tommy Lee in the drum cage, and he was fucking in like his cage, and like he was fucking phenomenal. Like that, my dad was amazed at the fact that this guy was like rotating around 360, and he was still playing the drums like he was. Like he couldn't see
Sure.
himself ever do. He couldn't see himself ever doing that. So
Yeah, I remember
I thought,
I saw them on Feel Good, and he had like the cage that went out over the crowd and spun around and all that stuff.
yeah, exactly. And I mean,
Yeah, and
the fact,
he's a showman.
the fact, I mean,
The show that they did at my amphitheater, I don't know, 10 years ago or whatever, he had the roller coaster drum kit.
I
You know,
mean,
that had like the loop to loop and all that.
I believe it. I mean, I mean, Tommy Lee is meant to be a reality star, 100%. I mean, Tommy Lee goes to college to maybe love him more, but it's just I love and him on Real Life was fucking incredible. But I mean, Motley Crue in general, I fucking love. Like they're just one, and their songs hit home me. They always have hit home me. But I will say this: live, their songs are not ranked same way they would be if it was Greatest Hits album. They're not ranked the same way they would be, but we'll get to that in a fucking minute. But what did you think of this album, Punchy?
I mean, look, I like Crew, so it's fun to hear those. I mean, I think I don't get the energy off of the live record from this one that I do off of Alive 2 and the one off of Slayer. But it's a greatest hits collection, and those guys are smart. They went out and they played the hits, and yeah. I mean, if I'm gonna go into the songs that I like the best, right? It's gonna be
Well,
Red Hot. It's gonna be Live Wire. It's gonna be Girl
we'll get to the.
Girl.
Nah, go ahead. You get three. You get 3 out of 5. We might as well get
Yeah,
this shit.
girls,
Do it.
girls,
Okay,
girls, for sure.
all right. The live version of Feel Good is really cool. I love the song Kickstart My Heart. I think the 7-minute long version with the extra endings, you know what I mean, is a little much. To be honest with you, Kickstart My Heart should be their first song they play, but that's only because it's an energy bam explosion thing. But probably they warm up to Shout at the Devil because it's probably good for their old bones to
Yeah,
to
yeah.
get up there. Even though in
Well,
2006 they were a little younger,
I mean,
you know.
well, actually, considering I saw them in 2007, the same as album came out in 2006, like it's kind of like I saw them live right after they did that tour where they recorded most of this. So I mean, they still have the energy. Don't get you
Yeah,
wrong.
no, I'm not hating. I'm a Crew fan. I always was a Crew fan. And it's just getting back to the 84 thing we were talking about with Slayer. That live record came out when Shout at the Devil came out.
Right.
I was 12 when Shout at the Devil came out and when that Slayer record came out. And
I mean,
the contrast, between those two bands that were both rocking pentagrams on their covers is crazy, you know.
it is. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Shout the Devil was one of the first songs of theirs I fell in love with, and I played that song in Guitar Hero multiple times. So I'm not gonna lie, but I mean, Crew has been a main stage of my life for the last 20 years almost. And
They have it.
I always say I was born a couple decades too late. I should have been born in the fucking like early 60s and been a teenager in the 80s because I would have fucking been phenomenal with the music in the 80s. Like the music in the 80s and 90s is fucking like the best music ever. So if I was born in the 60s and I had fucking 80s as a teenager, I would have fucking been right there with everybody else. But because I was born later,
Well, you would have been
I
in your
had
mid 20s in the 80s if you were born in the 60s, but
I
you would have been in your mid 20s. You would already have
I was,
responsibilities, and
yeah. I
would've
wasn't
been
gonna say nothing, but I'm so glad you
mean,
did.
I would have been fine with that though. Like that's what I want. I want to be able to go to those concerts in the '80s like that I wanted to see.
that's real. Well, I went to them. I
I
was
mean, you
12.
did.
I,
I mean, see,
I wasn't born yet, so I couldn't do those things.
I mean, okay, put it this way: when I was, whatever the fuck age actually sixth grade, you're like 12, 13. Like the only band I saw live at that point was Smash Mouth.
Oof.
You could see the issue. Yeah, you could see the issue just with that sign. Like we left before they finished performing because they were so horrible.
Well, look, I'm not going to
But
disparage
like,
Smash Mouth. They're
like
more successful than I am, so.
I mean, but like literally, that was the concert I saw when I was 12, 13 was Smash Mouth, and we left halfway through the concert because Smash Mouth was fucking horrible. Like everybody in my sixth grade class was there with their parents, and most people left before like halfway through Smash Mouth performance. They came out, they did All Star, and after that, everybody's like, "Okay, we're good to go."
Well, that's
Yeah.
their fault for starting with the one they were there to see. You make them wait for the end on that one.
I
Here's a
mean,
funny.
they could
Here's a story about Motorhead, right?
they could
Motorhead.
they could transfer to I'm a Believer, and I would have stayed, but
Motorhead.
What? Yeah, Motorhead.
They used to open with Ace of Spades.
But I mean,
really,
Motorhead's got. Well, I
Yeah, but
mean
wait a
that.
minute. They opened with Ace of Spades, and I
Like
asked
at
them, I'm like, that was their first song. And
I meant like at the time when it first came out, or are we talking like
no,
after they
I
had
mean
still
like
had?
I mean like when I first the first tour I did with them in '94, and
Okay,
then the second tour I did in '96 with them, and I asked him like, why are you opening with Ace of Spades? And he goes, well, because that way people don't holler it at the whole show.
yeah, makes sense.
If not every
I mean
song I'm just
that's
yelling Ace of Spades.
I mean that's
Right.
stupid. That's stupid.
No, it's
Because
not. That's but you got to stop and think though. Like you're talking about Smash Mouth, or the example I was going to use would be like Marcy Playground playing fucking Sex and Candy like right out the gate. But Motorhead can absolutely play Ace of Spades, or well, could R.I.P. But like they absolutely get away with playing it right out the gate to shut everybody the fuck up because they had a entire catalog that they could have went through just to fucking
see,
like
I never been a big
Orgasmatron, fucking Hellraiser, fucking and those are just
Killed by Death.
Orgasmatron's so Kill by Death, yes.
I mean, Orgasmatron's amazing. Don't get me wrong, and so is Spades. But besides that, I don't know any fucking songs by them. Like I really just
I'm
don't.
so bad, baby. I don't care. Oh, God. Great.
They weren't one of those bands.
Le-
They weren't one of those bands I fucking deep dove into, like in my high school years. I wouldn't know any song of theirs besides Orgasmatron or fucking Ace of Spades.
I actually like
Motorhead-
I like Sepultura's cover of Orgasmatron. I thought that was pretty fucking badass.
I mean, that's
Sure.
just me. But I mean, I would never pay to see Motorhead live unless they're opening for somebody I liked.
So the real question that I have in this, Jeremy, is how many fucking honorable mentions do you have on this Motley Crue album?
Oh, buddy, I want to hear your review first before I go into that.
Dude, I mean, it's Motley Crue. I can't really talk that much shit about it. I mean, I absolutely agree with Punchy though. Fucking, it was definitely a markup. Like somebody came in and fucking played Bob Ross and put some happy little trees on some happy little accidents.
Yeah, I mean, there's two clear guitar tracks playing. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
and there's one guy.
So there's one guy. So
I mean, I can't deny that 100%. Like I really can't. But Carnival Sins, yeah, it was probably them trying to make money. I 100% agree with that. It was probably them trying to make money
and
and
why
trying
not? And why not?
to. why not? I mean,
Exactly.
'cause that's what bands do when they're in a fucking hate, like a moment of between albums. Because they didn't release a new album to 2008, I think, when they released the album with I think with At the Whiskey. That was one of the songs on it. But which I mean, and I mean, when I saw Tommy Lee on Californication, that made my fucking day. But when he was sitting there on the piano in the bar performing Home Sweet Home, but I mean, it's just I don't know. I mean, and yes, Chancy, I got 15 fucking rankings on this album because it's fucking Molly Crew. Like Molly Crew was my intro into metal almost. Like Molly Crew was the first metal band I really fell in love with. I don't I don't know why. I forget who gave me Red, White, and Crew. I think it was a friend of mine in high school who gave me Red, White, and Crew. Same guy who gave me Iron Maiden's Greatest Hits and Cradle of Filth's Lovecraft and Witch Hearts. Like he made me fall in love with metal with those three albums. So that right there was my entrance into metal. Because before that I was only listening to like rap mainly. So he introduced me to metal. And he was a senior, I was a junior, and he gave me those three CDs, like to copy and put in my computer. And like I fell in love with and he gave me Iron Maiden's greatest hits album. King Edward, I think it was called. But he gave me Iron Maiden's greatest hits album too. So like those four albums I fell in love with. But my number 15 is the cover, Anarchy in the UK, because I love the studio version of it, but the live version of it is fucking garbage. I mean, I know 1,000 artists have done that song over. I know that, but and they're not the original. I fucking know that, but the studio version of that song was so much better. My number 14 was Kickstart My Heart because the studio version of that Red White Crew was so much better as well. Like a lot a lot of their a lot of my lower ranked songs are songs they did so much better like recorded than live. But my number 13 was If I Died Tomorrow, which I fucking love that song. Like If I Died Tomorrow was my theme song for a long time. Like literally my theme song for a long time. But it's number fucking 13 because they just live it doesn't sound the same. And it does on the Greatest Hits album. But my number 13 or number 12 I guess was Sick Love Song because another song I love amazingly when they recorded it. But when they did it live, bullshit. My number 11, ironically enough, was Girls, Girls, Girls. Because, like, I've seen them do that live. It sounds better live than it does in this album. I'm not going to lie. And I fucking love Girls, Girls, Girls. Like, it's the song got me into Molly Crew, for fuck's sake. But my number 10 is Too Fast for Love. Because I love that song, but they fucking pissed me off that they did it live. My number 9 was Shout the Devil. Because, it's a better song than fucking recording it live. Number 8 is Looks Like Kill because that was when that's when they started getting good with the live shit. It was Looks Like Kill. My number 7 was Without You because I love Motley Crue ballads and that's an amazing fucking rock ballad. Even live, it's not bad. Number 6 was Don't Go Away Mad, Just Go Away because it's always I love their ballads and that's always one of my favorite songs by them, but it's not the same as it is on a recorded album. And that's why I say, like, they had to record some of these live because they don't sound the same as they do recorded. They really don't. But my number 5 was Wild Side because that was close to the same as it sounds recorded. My number 4 was Too Young to Fall in Love because same reason. I mean, it's just the guitar in that was fucking on point. My number 3 was Helter Skelter because it actually sounded good live. Like, I love their version of that. I love their cover of Helter Skelter. Like they always, it's funny because I wrote an article in high school about how like Anarchy in the UK was written by Motley Crue, and I got so much fucking hate for it because I didn't know it was written by somebody else. Like I thought Motley Crue wrote that song. I didn't fucking know different. Like I was in high school, I was
You wrote
naive.
about
I didn't
Motley
know.
Crue in your high school?
I wrote an editorial to something in my. I wrote a fucking letter to something in my high school newspaper. Fucking said.
about Motley Crue.
And no, not about Motley Crue at all. But I fucking threw in I threw in a line at the end like this is anarchy in the USA, like Motley Crue would say, and my whole high school was like fucking pissed. We're like that's Sex Pistols, not Motley Crue. I'm like, how the fuck am I supposed to know? I didn't know who Sex Pistols were even more at that point. But like I was in high school, I was naive as shit. Like I listened to Eminem and fucking rap. Like I didn't know what the fuck I like any metal was, any rock
All right.
was.
Well, we'll forgive you, my son. All right,
I hope so. I hope so.
You speak for yourself. There's no hope for this fucking damned bastard up here. No. There's no fucking hope for this man.
Helter Skelter is number 3 because it sounds amazing live, just like it does in the recording version. Like the top 3 all sound as amazing live as they do in the recorded version. But their version of Helter Skelter, even though the Beatles version I did, which Chancy hates the Beatles, so I had to bring that up. But I mean, Helter Skelter is just an amazing song, and they did such a good version of it, live or recorded, either way. My number 2 was Same Old Situation because I don't know. That song has always stuck out to me, regardless. I mean, all around the world, girls will be girls. Like that line has always stuck out to me. And then like the fucking scream that Nikki Sixx does at the end of it, of that fucking chorus, like I always love Same Old Situation. Then my number 1, which is a song that either live or recorded sounds fucking incredible every time, is Dr. Feelgood. Because Tommy Lee's fucking drum solo in the beginning is fucking phenomenal, no matter how you listen to it. Like the fucking.
Yeah, Tommy Lee, dude. He was so good, and the drum tone that they got on the studio Dr. Feelgood record, it sounds so good. It's just so good.
I mean, Dr. Feelgood is one of the reasons I got into Motley Crue because I mean, yeah, they're talking about a drug dealer, but I mean, I read Motley Crue's biography.
That's the story of a drug dealer. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I mean, I read Motley Crue's biography, The Dirt, and it's fucking. I read it in high school. It's an incredible book, and I mean, their story is fucking incredible. I like they each write their own chapters in it and shit. Like it's a fucking incredible story. I haven't seen the Netflix version of it yet. I have been hesitant to watch that, but part of me has
It's
to
all
watch
right.
it
It's a
'cause I
fun
watched-
movie to watch.
Yeah,
It's
I
fun
was
to
gonna say
watch.
it wasn't terrible.
I just haven't. I just haven't had the time, and I mean, Machine Gun Kelly as Tommy Lee is like a whole fucking.
He did
thing
a
in
really
like,
good job. Before you run your mouth, he did a good job, man.
I believe it because I mean I've seen the previews where like he's talking about like him looking better in the leggings than his fucking sister and shit, and like I'm like, all right, that's kind of Tommy Lee's like vibe, but I mean it's just. I mean, because I've watched enough Tommy Lee in my life to know fucking what he's like. But Tommy Lee Goes to College is one of the fucking greatest like shows ever. It should have lasted more than 1 season. It should have lasted all 4 seasons as he went to college. But I mean, Dr. Feelgood to me is just classic. It's that drum solo in the beginning, the fucking guitar riff when it gets into it. Like, oh my god, like it's phenomenal. Like Dr. Feelgood is. I mean, I will be bringing Motley Crue albums on this show eventually, at some point, depending what the guest brings. I will be bringing Motley Crue albums eventually, like actual full albums. But I had to bring the live version because I mean he freaking Juan wanted to bring a live version of his album, so I'm like, fuck, all right. So I'm like, what am I gonna bring? Like I don't know. Like I almost brought Powerwolf. Like I don't know if you ever heard of Powerwolf, Juan, but they're a German band, and they're fucking incredible. And like but their live album is like fucking God. I don't even want to know. I don't even want to guess how many tracks it is long, so I didn't want to bring it because it's like their first 4 albums live, so I didn't want to bring it because it's just
it's obscene.
I'm not gonna subject that in any guess unless I run out of albums to bring. So I was like, all right, who have I brought for that I fucking love live? And you brought Kiss. I'm like, all right, who's hair metal? Who is fucking hair metal that I love live?
Well, wait a minute, hold on. I picked a live too because you were bringing live records to the fold.
No, no. You got the choice to bring your album first.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. I guess you're right. I don't know. We did the pre-interview a while ago. So I don't remember. But
we did.
That's
Wait a
valid.
minute. Wait a minute. We did a pre-interview. I don't
No,
do
well, I
pre-interviews.
mean, pre-interview
I
meaning
was
like
gonna
the QA thing when we set this up.
I mean, yeah, it's
I guess
whatever.
I
I
was
mean,
just thinking alive too because I just bought tickets to that tribute act for my kid.
I
You know what I
don't get me
mean?
wrong.
So
You're the first person literally to bring Kiss to our show. So I will never hand you for that because Kiss is amazing no matter how you listen to them. But like, you want to bring a live album, like, all right, I'm gonna bring a live album then, and then
that's real.
Chancey usually follows suit whatever I do. So I'm like, if I bring a live album, I know Chance is going to do. So I just went with
Yeah,
whatever you want.
I know. Every time I think about Motley Crue, I immediately just am like, Slayer sounds just like this.
I mean, a slightly harder version, yeah, probably. Yeah,
No,
I
no,
can see that.
no, no,
I
no.
mean, I love Motley Crue. I love Motley Crue. They made me lose weight in high school. They got me through a lot of heartbreak in high school. So Motley Crue is fucking incredible. Like, I I was in high school in the fucking 2000s, for God's sakes, and I still love Motley Crue at that point. Which that was before they put out their fucking CD in 2008. Like, that was they didn't look like they were ever gonna put out a new album again. Like, it looked at that point like they were done, and that was just the greatest hits with
You should check
Red
out
Red
Motley Crue
Crew.
in '93 or '4 or whatever when they
Oh,
fired Vince Neil and they brought
I
in John
know.
Corabi to sing. You
No,
know,
no, 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 no. Fuck that fucking album.
everybody wants a piece of the action.
I
I'm on a
fucking
holiday, a
that
hooligan's holiday.
yeah. Hooligans Holiday is on the great on Red White and Crew, the greatest hits album. And I fucking hate that. Like, it's a good song, but that album is fucking garbage. Like, I never would bring
Well,
that album to the show. I
but Corabi
if
is a great singer, so don't hate on
Chancy
Corabi.
Chancy, if I run out of CDs, you'll know because I'll bring that CD to the show. But
Okay. I mean,
like, Hogan's Holiday, uh, Planet Boom, I think it's called. Like, a lot of the couple songs that are on the greatest hits from that album, I'm just like, oh my god, like, those are the songs I could skip and not be worried about it. Like,
I mean, I don't know, man.
I love
Punchy said the singer was good. Fucking, who'd you say was the singer again?
John Corabi.
Nick.
Oh yeah, dude.
When they dropped fucking Nikki Six, I mean, I read the biography. I fucking know about the story. When they dropped Nikki Six, that's when they fucking started sucking, in my opinion. I like 6 a.m. Like, I like Nikki Six new band, like 6 a.m. But it's just that era where Motley Crue dropped him and they went with the other singer, and it was just like
Talking about Vince
completely
Neil.
different.
Yeah, Vince Neil.
Whatever. But
Nikki Sixx is a bass player.
Dude,
The only time they ever dropped him is when he dropped to the floor dead and they had to revive him.
did
You
that?
know what I mean? Hey,
hence the whole Kickstart My Heart thing, because that's about him dropping dead. But you see, you read the biography, you actually know this shit. But like, I have The Dirt. I have it, I think, on my bookcase, I'm pretty sure. But The Dirt is a fucking incredible book. The fact that it starts off with her name was Moose, we called her that because she could squirt across the living room, makes it the best book in history. So, like, the fact they opened the book with that line made me laugh since I was fucking in high school. So, I mean, it is what it is. It's fucking hilarious. But what were your top five off of Motley Crue there, Juan?
I kind of went over it already.
Yeah, he already.
Oh,
I did it.
I apologize. You did. You
That's
did.
right.
But Chancy Pants, I'm kind of dying to hear what your top five Motley Crue tracks are, so that basically Bar Grace hits album.
Honestly, you won't be surprised one bit. Like, I got 7 of them
Probably
here.
not.
So, your number 7 for me was Home Sweet Home. Number 6 was Kickstart My Heart, because, like, I agree with you, Punchy. That was kind of a 7 minutes is far too long for that fucking song, man. It
just kept ending. It was the never-ending ending.
Yeah.
You know.
And then number 5 for me.
How can you go wrong with, like, the fucking guitar solo in that song? Like, bam, like it's fucking like classic. Like it's
I mean, yeah,
I love the
that's
song.
great.
It was 3 minutes too long on the
Yeah,
live
it's
version.
great. Yeah, it's great, grand, and wonderful. But I mean, shit, it's like a false finish in a fucking wrestling match. Eventually, somebody's got to bring it the fuck home, dude. For real.
well, that's what we have. That's what we have Ray Ripley for. But go on.
But like number 5 for me was girls, girls, girls. Number 4 was same old situation. Number 3 was Dr. Feelgood.
Nice. Okay.
Number 2 was Looks at Kill, and number 1 was Shout at the Devil.
I mean, Shout the Devil is classic. And I'll tell you, when they're live, like when you actually see them in a concert, when they like literally, Vince Neil came out on a fucking motorcycle and started revving the engine for Girls, Girls, Girls.
Just like
It
Rob
was
Halford.
fucking.
Yeah, right.
I mean, but it's fucking Vince Neil.
No,
Rob Halford's Rob
don't.
Halford's, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was like, don't you dare, don't you fucking dare.
I'm trying to think of what band Rob Halford's from. I know the name.
Judas fucking
Judas
Priest,
Priest.
sir.
Oh, okay.
And there will never be a discussion where Vince Neil and Rob Halford enter into the same fucking paragraph.
I don't know about that. I mean, Judas Priest was big at the same time Molly Crew was.
No, we're not talking about size of fame and popularity. We're just talking about technical prowess. Like,
I mean,
Rob Halford's voice to this day.
No.
You know what we don't have fucking memes of, Jeremy? We don't have fucking memes of videos of Rob Halford fucking singing his shit, sounding like 8 Shades of Trash. All right, we don't have that. And I don't care if it's dubbed and faked or not, but the shit that they're doing with this stuff with Vince Neil automatically disqualifies him from the discussion of being even. No, just stop.
Let's not hate on Motley Crue. Come on.
I'm not hating on Motley Crue. I'm just saying that's like comparing Dio to Bruce Dickinson. Like,
no,
they're good, but they're not the same.
Yeah, Bruce Dickinson's better, but yeah, thank you. But there's no comparison there.
Well, there's no better. Come on, you're comparing.
I was gonna say that's like comparing Dio to Ozzy Osbourne, but
Dio's better.
Well,
I don't know if I agree with that.
Technically, be a better singer.
Yeah, I'm going on technicality. I'm going on technical. I mean,
I think Ozzy Osbourne is definitely
more resilient.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, ooh.
I don't know. To me,
no. He's making a joke about Dio being dead, dude.
I know that, but
that's awesome.
Like, in my opinion, Ozzy's one of the best top 5 singers of all time.
He's more resilient. Yeah, you got me there.
No, I think Ozzy Osbourne may have passed away years ago, just nobody will tell him.
Yeah, right.
Like Keith Richards has been dead for over a decade, but no one's gonna let him know.
Excuse me. He made a deal with the devil in like the 70s, and he's not gonna die ever. I mean,
he's the Joe Biden of heavy metal. What can I tell you? I'm not gonna disparage Ozzy by calling him that. I'm sorry.
I mean,
Ozzy.
No. I'll say on the show, fuck Joe Biden. It should have been him that got assassinated, not Trump.
Shut the fuck up. No. That's fucking. No, you're stupid.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah,
just
you're going river to the sea, and you're doing all this stuff.
You're stupid. Shut up. I fucking love it. But I mean, I honestly feel that way. But
I don't care how you feel. Shut the fuck up.
I mean, Ozzy's one of the top 5 fucking singers of all time, in my opinion.
Of course. Sure.
Yep.
I mean, I don't think Dio even tops that list, but okay.
That's fine. Fucking.
I mean,
you can.
Holy Diver's one thing, but I don't like any of their songs he's ever done, really.
I mean, honestly, Holy Diver.
That's why there's chocolate and vanilla ice cream, man. It's not a big deal.
Honestly, if I was ever to recommend a Dio song for anybody to listen to, I mean, because Holy Diver is going to be the one that everybody knows. But it'd be "Don't Talk to Strangers."
I don't think I've ever heard
That's
that song even.
oh, dude, it's so good. Just the way that he does it, like
All
how he
right, well,
starts, and then how he then goes from where he starts to this very powerful projection. Just
I'll have to go check it out. I really will. But
Heaven
because
and
you
Hell,
know,
man. Heaven and Hell
Heaven
by
and
Black
Hell.
Sabbath.
I mean,
Black
Yep.
okay,
Sabbath.
I've heard Heaven and Hell, but you know me,
Classic.
Chancy. You know me, Chancy. If you recommend something, I'll go check it out because I
I
respect your
even
opinion.
I even remember when they changed their name to Heaven and Hell for a while there before
They
Dio
had to.
died.
I saw
Yeah.
that show. I'm gonna tell you,
Oh,
All
I
right,
went to
well,
Japan. I went to Japan with Nile, and we were playing this festival called Loud Park, and it's a 2-day
yeah.
festival. One day is in Tokyo, the next day is in Osaka. So the first day in Tokyo, we played a lot of bands, like 20 bands, and the next day in Osaka, there was just the three of us, and the show was Nile, followed by Marilyn Manson, followed by Heaven
oh,
and Hell.
Nice.
oh,
Right. So I got to watch Heaven and Hell from the mix position, next to the sound engineer because I had the pass and all that stuff. And it was awesome. It was so great to
I
see
mean,
Dio live with Iommi and the whole thing. It was
I
magical.
Dude, that
I
would have
never
been
been,
so fucking awesome, dude. For
but
real.
I also saw the last Pantera show, like with the official with the
oh,
brothers, like the last
Oh
one in Tokyo.
man.
see, if they closed it out with Cemetery Gates, I would have been in heaven. Just
I don't
saying.
remember what they ended with, to be honest with you, but I did see the last Pantera show with the brothers, like with the lineup, and
Yeah.
it was it.
I
It was the
mean,
last show was in Tokyo.
Cemetery Gates is like my favorite Pantera song of all time. So it's the only song of theirs I really like. I hate Walk. I think Walk is one of the most pathetic songs of all time. But it's so simple. It's like for retarded. But I
I mean, come
love
on.
Cemetery. I love Cemetery Gates. I really do. Like it's to me, it's magical. But that's me. I mean, I
I'm
would
big,
have.
I'm pretty big on Primal Concrete Sledge personally.
I don't know that song off the top of my head, but
It's on the same album as Cemetery Gates, but
I
no
only
big
ever
deal.
had I only ever had Pantera's greatest hits. So
Fair enough. Yeah, no, I like the fact that the guitar and the drums play against each other at the beginning of that
that,
fucking song. It's so fucking titties, dude. Just fucking
that,
ah.
okay, I'm not gonna lie. That sounds impressive. I'm not gonna lie, but I mean, because Pantera's guitars alone are fucking incredible. I mean, at Cemetery Gates, the drums are incredible too. I'm not gonna lie, but it's just I don't know. I've never been that big a Pantera fan. I just never can get into them like I should have. Like
I
I
mean,
listened.
it was
I think I had the greatest in high school, and I just on like CD, and I just fucking would like listen to fucking Walk and Cemetery Gates, and that's basically it.
yeah, it was honestly it was the whole band. It was the band for me, and more so than Phil Anselmo for when I
I
was
mean,
listening to Pantera.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, they're an incredible fucking band, and
Oh yeah,
all
no,
around.
Phil's got great vocals and everything. It's just
I mean, even today, I think today it was or yesterday, I had Cemetery Gates come on my life list like randomly, and like it's just like when he screams in the middle part, like Gates, like it's fucking incredible.
Hey, out of
yeah.
curiosity, did we lose the people that were commenting at the beginning of the show? Did they go
Uh,
away?
as usual, yes, yes. I mean, actually, no. Summer Dawson about God, we've been doing this a long time, but Summer Dawson about 20 minutes ago said hello, but I mean,
Hi.
we don't have commenters usually past like the first like 10 minutes because I mean
Oh,
we still have we have 4 people watching, but they're all on X, and people on X don't realize they can comment. I think I don't fucking know, or they don't want to comment. They
maybe they
just
don't
want to
want
listen.
to.
They just want to watch and listen.
I
But
was just curious. I was like, wow.
it's a
At the top of the
it's
show, I
all
was like, oh,
good.
we got commenters and we can, but
Well,
like, well, I
uh,
guess they're gone.
well, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie. I'm not gonna lie. we went almost 2 hours. So anytime you want to come back on, you're more than welcome. Because this is a true music discussion. But 2 hours talking about fucking all metal albums or all rock albums, what you want to call it, is fucking incredible. I mean, Kiss, Motley Crue, and Slayer. I mean, I kind of am curious who you like in rap. Like the next time you come on, I almost want you to bring who you like in rap.
Oh, you're gonna be really disappointed because I haven't liked any rap since like 90 something.
All right, then we can take this to a strictly metal thing. Actually, no, not we love '90s rap on this show. I mean, a lot
I'm
of my
talking about
rap is from
80s,
the
90s rap. I think in other words, I think it's already been done. I haven't heard anything exciting.
you'd be surprised. We've had very little rap shows in this podcast, if I'm not mistaken, right, Chancy?
What?
We've had very little '90s, '80s rap shows in this podcast, right?
No, I'm just my opinion that the art form is just done. I haven't heard anything. I don't want to hear about anybody's problems. I don't want to hear about any of that crap. I'm done with it. I'm done with all the bragging. No, I'm saying I'm done with all the bragging. I'm done with all the depressing stuff. I don't want to hear about the streets. I don't care. I've heard all the stories, and nothing's new.
See, if you listen to hardcore, you won't hear any of that. But we'll see. We'll get you.
Yeah, it's a subgenre of rap that ICP. Oh, thank God. Okay, thank God.
I mean, I mean, it started with the Fat Boys with Freddie's Back. It started with Will Smith with
Nightmare on My Street.
Yeah, Nightmare on My Street. It started with those two tracks, and then it became a whole genre where like ICP, Esham, Twisted, and countless other bands have fucking dominated it. Scum. I mean, there's a lot of bands that dominated it, but like I would love to hear your opinion on rap eventually, or just more metal. I mean, we
We'll talk about anything you want, dude. Pop music, whatever. I listen to everything.
I mean,
so
there's so many metal albums out there we haven't touched on yet that we could touch on metal albums for the rest of our lives and never be done with it. So, I mean, I have so. I mean, and you fucking brought Sabotage back to my mind. I haven't listened to them in fucking like 10 years. So fuck yeah. But I fucking love Sabotage.
Every Christmas you hear Sabotage.
Yeah.
Technically, that's Trans-Siberian Orchestra, but okay.
It's the same fucking thing, bro.
No, you're wrong. That was on a Sabotage record.
It was.
Christmas Eve 12/24 on Dead Winter Dead.
Trust me. I know. Trust me. I fucking know that, but still, I mean, to this day, it's under Trans-Siberian Orchestra because of my fucking Spotify playlist. So you know, it is what it is. But records happen for a reason. I would love to bring some symphonic metal on here to play with you a little bit. But
I mean, I worked with Camelot. I worked with Sim X.
Oh,
yeah.
We had a guest bring Camelot on the show, and I was fucking in heaven. And Chancy was like, "Oh, fuck me." But
great. Camelot's awesome.
I fucking love Camelot, dude. I fucking symphonic metal is like right up there with me with like fucking hardcore rap. Like it's the same fucking same love.
Definitely different.
Same love.
Different planets.
I know it is, but no one ever
talented and one is kind of talent free, but sure.
I don't think so.
Sorry.
I disagree with that 100%.
Oh God, that's hilarious.
That's why there's chocolate vanilla ice cream, man. It's all good.
I think hardcore rap in these days has become more complex than rock could ever be.
All right.
Shut up.
That far.
I mean, I am not talking. I'm not talking ICP. Even though they continue to put out the second set of Joker
honestly
cards, I'm not talking ICP. Like, ooh.
If we're gonna use ice cream,
Chancy, this might be coming out next week, so be prepared. Because next week we're gonna have the music god CJ Plain back on.
Right.
And I mean, Scum just released a new CD, so I might have to bring that up. I'm just saying because I know CD Plain respects Scum.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say if we're gonna be using analogies for ice cream, then I would like to compare Jeremy to like what happens if you try to refreeze soft serve.
I mean, buddy, I'm all hard.
It's that layer of protective ice.
You're right. That,
Buddy,
that fucking weird, that weird, like not quite plastic, not quite ice
Box.
cream. Like, yeah, yeah,
I mean, Chancy, I'm always hard and good to go. But I mean,
yeah.
I
Of
don't.
course, yeah, of course you are, Jeremy. You're the pinnacle. You're the pinnacle of masculinity. I swear, it's fine, buddy.
Oh, you know that, buddy. You know that.
But
But
although I do have to say though, Juan, you were saying something earlier about having recently released an album yourself.
Okay. Now we're gonna plug my record now. So all
please
right.
do.
So
Please
this
do.
is absolutely not metal music. Cosmic Punch is
Our listeners,
this is a nerd. What
I
now?
was say, I was gonna say, our listeners appreciate all music, so please do.
Okay. So Cosmic Punch is what I refer to as nerd rock. All right. So the musical styles is very retro feeling. I used on this most recent record, this guitar that's behind me, this Brian May guitar that I bought it from the Brian May Guitar Company, and I used it exclusively on the record so that it would sound like
Wait a
Brian
minute.
May was playing.
Wait a minute.
What?
Did you say Brian May, like a
Yeah,
queen?
Yeah,
right behind
yeah,
me. You see the
Okay.
Brian May guitar
I
that's behind me here?
just want to make sure.
yeah.
So so the record sound is very retro, right? But I only sing about Star Trek and nerdy stuff. I'm it's all fun music project. There's no bad feelings and no hippies and none of that stuff. You know, there's no so
Goddamn fucking hippies, I hate them.
this particular this particular record is kind of like a concept record. So it's like my journey as a nerd, and how I've survived as a nerd. So basically, the first song is called "I Can't Get Enough of Trek," and that's a song about Star Trek, original series Star Trek, which is like my first memory. My mom used to watch original series Star Trek when I was a kid. And then the second song is called Glenn Larson, and it's about the television writer Glenn Larson who
Wait a minute.
wrote.
I
What?
gotta ask: is there any Star Wars related songs or no?
The last record, the previous record, the Club of Nerd Dads, that one has a song called Keyboard Warrior, which is about the angry Star Trek nerds that argue with each other online. And
I said Star Wars, but okay.
Star Wars. Sorry, Star Wars. I'm sorry, you're right. Star Wars. That was angry Keyboard Warriors about the angry Star Wars fans that argue with each other.
Oh,
It's on the
Now-
previous record. This record, I'm
I
not
got
mentioning any Star Wars in it.
Is Cosmic Punch the name of the album, or is that the name of
It's
the
the name of the project.
project?
The album
Okay,
is-
yeah.
The new record is called For All Nerd Kind, and the previous one was the Club of Nerd Dads, and
Well-
it's just going with this theme of nerd rock and having fun with it, and lots of overproduction on the record. It's just really stupid, and I play everything on it. So I do all the drums, the guitars, the sing, piano, everything. I do all of the instrumentation on it. And I mixed it and mastered it, and I did the video for it, and the video, I mean, like everything. I'm this one man guy. Did my own album cover, the whole thing. Because that's my training. That's what I did for my
Right.
entire life in this industry, was making records and making videos, and so now that I kind of retired from that, and I have more time to do this kind of stuff for myself,
Well,
and
I wrote
Where
that
can
down
we-
specifically to look it up for
What?
sure.
oh,
The-
100%.
100%.
Punch.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, well, if you
100%.
go to cosmicpunch.com, that is the springboard, so you'll be able to find the new record and all the previous records and all the music videos that I've put out. It's all on that one web page, as well as links to socials and all that stuff. So
Awesome.
the usual gamut.
Cosmicpunch.com.
Cosmicpunch.com.
You're-
And then
You heard it here. You heard it here, folks, and I'll of course include that link in the podcast description. But anywhere else they can find you? They want to look for you?
Well, that's a great place to start. And but I'm on all the streaming platforms and all that. So I mean, like when you go to the home page and you click on the new album cover, it's going to take you to another page. It's got all the streaming platforms where you can hear the record, as well
Okay,
as yeah, and those streaming platforms have my previous records.
nice.
And then I have another musical project that I have called Apex Zenith, and Apex Zenith is all 80s pop, electro pop, synth pop stuff. And
Ooh.
and it's a lot of fun and it's really retro and I don't use any sound font past 1988. So every sound that you hear is pre 1988 synthesizer stuff and it's just a lot of fun. It's a total romp down memory
Well,
lane.
well,
And again, I did the videos and the whole record and I play everything and the usual
well.
shit.
Pre my birth, I fucking love it because all great music came out mostly before I was born. So but
Well, I mean, dig on the Apex Zenith. It's a lot of fun. Um it's cool. And the word apex means top. The word zenith means top. And the record is called Pinnacle, which also means top. So it's the top of the
Yeah.
top. It's just
just
stupid.
just a lot, just a lot of self promotion, folks.
It's just
But,
silly. You know what I mean? It's just
uh,
silly. And it's just like that, like my thing, the musician, producer, and sex symbol. I mean, I put it in my bio so that people just put it on their podcast, and
oh,
I just kind of go with it. I just say like, yeah, man. Well, it's
if you
tough.
think I'm
You
not
know,
gonna put sex symbol my fucking like title for this shit, you're thinking that you're out of your
it's
mind.
tough. It's tough being a
But
sex symbol. It's hard having to carry this burden, and I'll do
a
it.
f- a
You know,
fucking
I'll
men, dude. A
I'll do
fucking
it
men.
because someone has to. You know,
I mean,
but
I've been doing it for the last 2 years. I 100% get that. I
Better you
100%
than
get that.
me. Better you than me, sir. Better you than me.
I mean, obviously, Chancy,
I
obviously,
will
but
shoulder the burden like Atlas carrying the world. That's me.
exactly, brother. But Chancy, where can they find you besides in the void, in the darkness, trying to, you know, become a slayer?
Okay. Well, on Instagram and
Okay.
TikTok, it's the Red Eye Roundtable. On X, it's Red Eye Table, and then here, I can be found here on Maniacal Music Musings and stuff.
Because Chancy is a music god and he likes to talk about great music, so that's where you can find him.
There you have
And
it.
because this podcast gives him a home to talk about that. But that's why we started this shit. But you can find both of us on Maniacal Music Musings either on YouTube or just Google us, whatever, what the fuck ever. You can find us on Facebook as Uncensored, Unapologetic, and Untamed Podcast Collective. YouCubed. And you can find us on Twitter and the Gram or X and the Gram, whatever the fuck you want to call it, as that Juggalo Bastard. And you can find us on TikTok as that Juggalo Bastard Podcast. Until then, folks, come back next week for another regular episode. And we'll be back this Saturday for a Rolling Stones participants bracket part 1, and it's going to be a shit show. I'm telling you, it's going to be a shit show. But until then, we'll see you next time. Have a good night. With this almost 2 hour, this over 2 hour long episode. Fuck. I'm sorry, listeners. It is what it is. Have a good night.